You're listening to The Starting Block on tavshow.com.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Okie dokie, roll 'em!
Nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change.
Hey, welcome to the Starting Block for another week. Big show as always. We got mutant word of the week. We've got an answer to the Cannonball Run question. We got political bags. Get your glow sticks out. The band loves his ratings. All that and much, much more here on the block. Greeno here from the Starting Block. On behalf of the block, we just wanted to let you all know that we're all in this together. Well, except if you have coronavirus, then stay the fuck away. But in every other situation, we're in it together. To all of you on the front lines, those of you turning a footstool, a wok, and a pitchfork into a home gym, those of you who have given your housemates a mental breakdown because you decided lockdown was a great time to learn the keyboard and the only thing you can play after 8 weeks is chopsticks over and over and over again. And those of you who are homeschooling and are now understanding the question you used to harass your maths teacher with of, when the fuck are we ever going to need to know this in the real world, is coming back to bite you on the ass. Just remember, like a 1990s Australian sitcom, we're all in this together. The days may be long, but in times like this, you can rest assured we will be here to waste an hour of your week, Friday nights Australian time, at dlive.tv/the Starting Block. So take care, social distance, whack on a mask, and subscribe to our show on iTunes. It may not cure coronavirus, but it sure will help us with our rankings. And isn't that really the most important thing right now?
Public Radio's loss is tavshow.com's game. You're listening to The Starting Block.
Hey, welcome to the Starting Block for another week. You've got myself, Greeno. One man who had to try away from the television because he's missing the WBBL 09. My co-captain Dave, how are we, sir?
Very good, Greeno. Good evening to you, boys, girls, listenership, blockheads, millions around the world. Yep, lots going on. We this is the start of a new season, obviously.
Season. I forget what season we're at.
49, 57.
49, which is impressive because we're not even 49 weeks into the year, but we've created 49 for this for 2023.
Well, we're trendsetters, Greeno. We
are trendsetters.
Good
news though, we're off next week, so this is the season finale.
That's right.
Whilst also being the debut.
Yeah. Welcome to the last show of the season and the first show We announced, no one can criticize us of not informing the audience, Greeno, because on the first show of the season, we already told them when the last show of the season is going to be, and it's going to be today. So
it's going to be this one because we're off next week.
Yeah, lots going on.
Look out for the big. Look for the big season premiere in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, we did Lunch of Legends last week. We'll probably touch on that a little later. But we actually missed the review, Greeno, of the referendum vote that happened here. And in case you missed it, in case you've been living under a rock and you've been waiting, in case you get all of your news only from this program, you've been waiting to hear the result, let me tell you that it was a resounding nah. That was Australia voted nah.
Definite nah for Australia. 60, it ended up being 66%.
Every single state voted no. Basically,
voted nah. Yeah,
voted nah. So not even Victoria voted Greeno, which was a surprise to me because you know what they're like down there. They like to they protest basically anything. So
I love a good protest, and they love abiding by rules as well.
Yeah.
They loved it under Dictator Dan, remember?
Yeah,
they love the lockdown.
Big union state, they love their union protests. They love a strike down there too, Greeno, don't they, in Victoria? Always striking, always going on strike. So I was actually surprised that Victoria didn't vote that way. The only place that voted yes for the referendum, incidentally, was the ACT, where all the politicians live. So,
where all the politicians are, that's right.
Yeah,
so.
Where all the people who work for the government live, Greeno, in the Australian Capital Territory.
You thought, hey, man, here's a way we can get some cash in the pocket. If this thing gets up, sure we can milk some money.
Yeah. I don't know what but anyway, there you go. That was over, and it's done. It's wrapped up for another 10 years or so until it.
10 years and the world moved on. I didn't realise that. I saw some. Because me, I love a stat man. Hit the stat man button.
Okay,
if you can, sir.
I'm a stat man.
It was like 82% of referendums in the history of Australia are generally voted no, no matter what it is.
Yep.
Like it's really hard to get people to because it's always to change something, right? And most people are just like, whatever, right?
Nah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's all, we got's okay. I don't mean to change it. Like, no one has an interest in being a monarch. No one generally is like, hey, man, I'm all in for the Queen or now the King. But, once again, we stayed. We didn't want to be a republic. So
I've often said, Greeno, our greatest quality is also our worst quality here in Australia, and it's the she'll be right kind of mentality that we have here. And I think it is a very Australian thing, more so than other places. I mean, you think that you might think that sun and beach culture and that kind of thing contributes to it, but that's not true. If you look at California, for example, Greeno, they protest more than anyone on fucking planet Earth, Greeno. They're upset about everything.
She'll be right, mate thing happening there.
That's right, yeah. So there's a real kind of she'll be right thing. So on the one hand, it makes us like kind of the most laid back, approachable people you'll ever find. If you're just an average person you're here on holiday, you'll be like, gee, they're all so laid back and they're all so relaxed and they're very approachable and they're very, somewhat happy most of the time and all that kind of good stuff. But at the same time, it also means that the politicians can basically do whatever the fuck they want and screw us, and we'll be like, whatever. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So. But when it comes to a referendum vote, it kind of works against them because you get told that there's this big glaring awful problem that needs to be solved, and the only way to solve it is by voting. And now the first mistake that you're making is in Australia, it's illegal to not vote. If you've been called to vote, you will be fined if you don't show up and vote.
You make us do something.
Yes. So you're already that's right. You're already fighting an uphill battle because Australians are so relaxed and laid back. If you make them do something, they're probably going to say no just out of spite. It doesn't even matter. Like it doesn't matter
what you say.
It doesn't matter what you say.
Do you want a free $50? I do, but you dragged me out on my Saturday. I was planning on just chilling.
That's right.
I'm going to have to say no to that.
Now, you look at other countries around the world, say the United States, for example, who threw off the shackles of, the royals, Greeno, a long time ago and had a war of independence and stuff. We didn't go that far. We're like, they're all right. I can't be bothered.
It's too
hot.
What are we going to fill our Women's Day magazines with if we're not, part of the Republic?
Hey, Australia, do you want to throw off the shackles of your oppressors and kick those royals fair in the nuts? It's too hot outside. Can't be. Nah. Nah.
Hey, you want me to do that on Saturday?
Yeah.
Saturday morning?
Yeah.
Nah, man.
No. Mate, I got plans, mate. You know?
Plans? No,
Having a barbecue,
just
mate.
no.
Yeah. We're too busy for that kind of thing. So, you know, of course, if most referendums here fail, I don't think it really has anything to do with the politics. I think it's a cultural thing. I think
100%.
generally Australians are like, yeah, if it ain't, Australians are like, yeah, nah. You know, it's such a such a perfect way to sum up our political mentality in this country, I think.
Well, like, there's a lot of talk of, you know, we should change the anthem. I reckon we could get it down to a spelt 2 words. Yeah, nah.
Yeah, nah.
Imagine, please rise to the Australian national anthem.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
Well, and then we'd be saying, why do we have to stand up for it? It only goes for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You know? What's the fucking point of that? Can't we just sit and do it instead?
Yeah.
They did change one line in the national anthem. Why wasn't that put to a referendum, Greeno? Because that would have failed as well if that was put to a referendum. How can they just change? Who decided to change the anthem on behalf of all of us?
Very good point. I guess the same person or the same group of people that decided to change the anthem in general. So haven't we only had this one since late 80s, something like that?
Something like it was. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think there was like some songwriting competition.
Yeah, it was a songwriting competition.
Yeah.
It was like an Australian Idol thing.
Yeah, Australian Idol for the anthem.
Sending your song will pick an anthem.
Yeah, I know it's kind of cheesy, but I'm a waltzing Matilda kind of guy when it comes to the
I'm happy
anthem.
with that.
And people go, "What, you want an anthem about a criminal who stole a sheep?" And I'm like, "But that's what we are. That's where we came from as a country, you know."
Yeah. I like the idea of like Land Down Under, but that song goes for like 3.5 minutes. That's too
it's
long
also
for an
kind of
anthem.
preachy and whingy as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
What about Great Southern Land, Greeno?
Sitting
all in the ocean. Which anthem has electric guitar solos in it? That's the one we should have.
Too long. Too long. We need something once again spelled.
Great Southern Land. Doo. What about that? Did you ever see that remake of that song Hey Ya? Hey Ya.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the remake of it about Australia, Greeno? No?
Doesn't sound like something that interests me.
Oh, okay. No, I think you'd like it. Actually, I'll just quickly chuck it up because this probably should be our national anthem if we're going to change it, if we're going to be serious about it.
No, I think I have. Is this Yeah Nah? Yeah.
No, that's wishful thinking, mate. No.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I don't know who did it, but hang on, I've got to.
2:34 though. Once again, bit long.
It is a little bit long. I tell you who which anthem I'm a fan of. It's the Spanish national anthem. Did you know the Spanish national anthem doesn't have any words in it?
Beautiful.
It's just music. And the reason that it's just music is because Spain isn't really a country. Okay, now that's a controversial take, I know, but Spain is not really a nation. It's not a nation.
Province.
It's a collection of like little kingdoms that, once upon a time, all these little kingdoms had their own little part of Spain, and it was conquered by the Muslims and then reconquered, which is the Reconquista, and then, all these little kingdoms kind of fighting with each other. And then, I think it was in the 1800s or something or thereabouts. I'm not an expert on Spanish history. But at some point, they decided, all right, we've got to kind of try and band, even though we've been killing each other for hundreds of years, we've got to try and band together somewhat because all these other places are becoming countries and we're going to be fucked. We're going to be a whole bunch of little kingdoms. So they all came together.
Trying to follow the cool kids, man. Be yourself, Spain.
There was a dictator thrown in there as well who kind of, pulled them all together somewhat. And when it came time to write the national anthem, nobody could agree on the words because they're all these little kingdoms who hate each other. So they're like, all right, we're not going to have any words then. It's just going to be music.
I like it. Fucking nice,
just it's an instrumental, Greeno. The Spanish national anthem.
Now, hear me out here. Yeah. I know nothing about The Voice. You know nothing about politics. Yeah. Between us, we can fix it. Imagine if the voice vote was a silence. So you can have the voice, but it's got to be instrumental.
So you have to express your political opinions through song, Greeno.
Through song, yeah.
Tommy Emmanuel will get signed up tomorrow.
Tommy Emmanuel, get yourself a didgeridoo, we'll get some Yothy Indie action, you know.
Well, they're singing in Yothy Indie. You have to have instrumentals.
No,
so I'm thinking Tommy Emmanuel, James Morrison, Greeno, the trumpet guy.
Trump
Okay.
player, Nathan Cavalieri.
Nathan
We'll get him in.
Cavalieri. Bring him back. Greeno.
Bring him back. He's still around.
He's still around.
Um,
Wasn't there another one, that Smokey Joe or Smokin' Joe Robertson or whatever his name was? Remember him,
Something
that
like
kid?
that.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. They're all
You bring all them
guitarists,
in?
though, except for James, except for Jimmy. Yeah. Do we have any
Sounds
other
good.
famous musicians that aren't guitarists? It seems like most of them are.
Yeah, probably just guitarists, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't think of.
I was actually,
many
I went down a
famous
rabbit
people
hole
out
last
there.
night. I went down a rabbit hole last night, Green. It was about 3 a.m. and I was drinking heavily.
Are you
And,
up at 3 a.m. on a school night?
it's just, I don't know. Once or twice a
You
week
can't
that
help yourself,
happens.
bro.
I can't.
You
No,
can't help
I'm a night person. Like I always have been, and I always
You still
will be.
haven't adjusted to the daylight, have
I
you? You're
haven't.
just-
No,
Yeah.
no. So what ends up happening is I stay up till kind of 1 or 2 in the morning every day anyway, and then I'm up at
Yeah.
7 or 8 the next morning because obviously the baby BoogieBumper baby, she's not a
She's
night
up.
person.
Yeah, she's not a night person.
No, she's an
She's
early
out.
riser. And I just struggle through. And then by the, after a couple of weeks, the bags under my eyes are so big you could fill them with fucking potatoes from the fruit
Yeah.
shop, And then I tend to get one day in where I'll sleep like 12 hours, and then I feel rejuvenated, and I go right back to my late night
Fresh.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I was watching YouTube, and I was going down a rabbit hole of like reaction videos and stuff. And I actually found reaction videos to Tommy Emmanuel, and the Americans, their minds were blown by this Tommy Emmanuel. Who the fuck is this Tommy Emmanuel guy? Holy shit! Look at him, he's
Classical
smoking.
gas, baby.
Yeah, you saw that
Classical
one, that
gas.
classical gas one. That's the one that everyone's reacting to.
Oh,
Anyway,
really? Oh, well, that's the only Tommy Emmanuel I know.
Oh, no.
Classical gas.
yeah.
I remember it on Hey Hey It's Saturday.
Ah, okay. Yeah, he does a whole bunch of interpretation on it, and he changes it,
Yeah,
and
nice.
makes it funky. And anyway, this could probably be the anthem for Australia if we were going to change it.
My country don't share no borders 'cause of all the waters that surround our sands. Thank God for our resources 'cause they are the sources of our wealthy lands. Don't try to find the capital or fight the animals, you're on your own. Just drive from town to paradise and you'll see why we call Australia home.
I'm going down on this.
Yeah.
That is sensational.
Fuck yeah.
That's a fucking nice Gary for that as our national anthem. I'll tell you that
Gary.
much.
That's probably my favourite line too. Don't try to find the capital or fight the animals.
Yeah, the animals.
That's good
Yeah.
advice. When you get off the
Lovely.
plane, that's what we should have. Don't worry about filling out your cards. If you see something cute, like I actually had a quick little story time.
I like stories about
There's
pinatas.
an Englishman who works at my workplace, and I think he's been here for quite some time, but he's still got a real thick, heavy accent. He's got a real kind of Englishman accent. Not quite sure where he's from. He's a Liverpool fan. So it stands to reason he's from around there. But anyway, wherever he's from. And he came in, like a meeting had already started and he was a couple of minutes late. And we were talking about possums, I think.
Okay.
And I said something about possums and he said, we don't have possums in the UK. And I'm like, yes, you do. I've seen them. I said, but you just call them squirrels. They're different, like they're small possums, And he kind of laughed and because I was saying, everyone thinks that they're cute and cuddly, but they're not. And he said, oh, but possums are really nice. You can feed them and stuff. And I said, yeah, but I've heard so many fucking horror stories of tourists, caravan parks, see a possum's kind of hanging on a tree and they think, oh, isn't that sweet? And they try to go up and give it a hug, Greeno. They try and pick it up and cuddle it and it'll scratch their tits off,
100%. I'll give you a quick story time inside.
Even
Story
the,
time if I can.
but even the cute, and what I'm getting to here is the point of the story is even the cute animals here will fuck you up. Yeah. So, it's good advice if you get off the plane. Don't fight the animals. Don't even
touch the
hug them.
animals.
Don't kiss
Stay
them.
away
Don't
from
love
the
them.
animals where
Do
you can.
nothing.
Fucking koalas have got
Yeah.
chlamydia and everything else will fuck you up.
Yes.
Quick story time. I once
I like
stayed
stories
on a
about
romantic
pinatas.
weekend away at a place called Possum's Retreat. Now, why was it called Possum's Retreat?
Sounds lovely.
It was in the middle of a forest and there's fucking possums all around.
Yeah.
Hence, Possum's Retreat.
Yeah.
You walk in, you're like, this is going to be exciting. If I can see some possums, we'll feed some possums. The first direction they give you when you arrive at Possum's
Do
Retreat,
not feed the
fucking
possums.
feed the possums. It's a retreat. Yeah. It's their retreat. You're intruding on their life right now.
Yeah.
Leave them the fuck alone. Fair call.
I remember, like, when I was in high school, man, there was a it might still be there, I'm not sure. But I remember JC bringing in an article from that he cut it, like he physically cut it. This is how old I am. This is a revelation into my age, by the way, if you're a younger person. He physically brought in a cutout from a newspaper. Like he got scissors and cut it out, like the column from the newspaper. We didn't have smartphones, you know. So if you wanted to bring something in that you saw in a newspaper for everyone to read, you couldn't send them a link, you know. And so he brought out the cutout from a newspaper. And he's like, have a look at these fucking idiots over here. And there was a restaurant in London that was serving, it was run by Australians, and they were serving kangaroo meat on the menu. Now, it's not uncommon to find kangaroo meat these days. I don't like it. I don't like the taste of it. Some people really like it. Yeah, the smell, the taste, it really puts me off. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I once had I bought this cookbook, this superfoods cookbook, and it had a friend of mine recommended it, and she's like, "Oh, the kangaroo bolognese is amazing." I'm like, "All right, cool," and I made it, and to the point, like, I spent about 3 hours making this bad boy, and both my wife and I had one mouthful, and just the odor of it.
Yeah, just like nut.
I'm like, she's like, "I don't think I can eat. I'm gonna throw up." And I'm like, "I'm with you," and 3 hours gone down the window. Doesn't matter.
It's not a good description. People say it's gamey, but if you don't know what gamey tastes like, then you don't really know what that means. It's not a good description. The best way to describe it would be like it's kind of like sickly sweet that you don't expect in a meat kind of thing. It's really, it tastes like dirt kind of thing, sickly sweet dirt. It's not nice.
It's an animal you're not meant to eat.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Now, I could potentially see it working in a stew, but the reason it might work in a stew is because you can fill a stew up with all kinds of herbs and spices and mask.
So you can't taste the kangaroo.
Yeah, it would just be fiber at that point. You know, to be like a meat-like substance that doesn't taste anything like kangaroo if you fucking boil it for 20 hours. You know.
Yeah.
So there was this restaurant in London, and they were serving kangaroo meat and kangaroo steaks and kangaroo tail, like osso buco kind of stuff, Greeno, but with kangaroo shit. And there was all these do-gooder fucking poms kind of protesting out the front, and they had signs. He's like, look at these fucking idiots, would you? And the signs were like, stop eating Australian icons. You know, you're killing all the kangaroos. And it was
kangaroos,
like, yeah.
Eating Australian icons, they're eating fucking Ian Turpie. Yeah. That's fucking tall off pudding.
Yeah. And it's like, these people have no idea that the government will pay guys with sniper rifles to fly around in helicopters a couple of times a year and just cull them, like shoot them, as many as you can. And you get paid per kangaroo carcass that you bring, Greeno. You get paid per kangaroo that you kill because there's so fucking many of them and they're fucking pests. Everybody hates them in the bush, right? You know, those of us who live like more city slicker lifestyles, we see a kangaroo and go, oh, look at a kangaroo. Oh, look, he's bumping, you know, he's hopping around. But the only reason you're seeing it is because they've built a factory somewhere and kicked him out of his natural habitat. And he's like, well, where the fuck do I go now? And he ends up on the freeway, you know. He ends up in your street when he shouldn't be. But out in the rural areas, they fucking hate kangaroos. They're disgusting. They hate them. They're pests. They fuck shit up. So yeah, even back then, Greeno, look at the kangaroos. How could you possibly eat? Now, one, I wouldn't eat them.
Tastes like shit.
Yeah, and you know, people do eat it here, but again, I still think it's kind of like a niche thing. I think it's kind of like a trendy thing to eat kangaroo, and it's actually really good for dogs. It's good dog meat. Dogs love it.
Yeah.
Because it's disgusting, right? Now, would you eat dog food, generally speaking, Greeno? No.
Fair point.
Yeah. But kangaroo, dogs go nuts over that shit. So that tells you everything you need to know, I think, about kangaroo meat. I don't know how we got on kangaroo meat, incidentally.
It's been it's whirlwind. We haven't even started the show yet. So I'm just unplugging the fridge because I feel like that's now pumping through.
I didn't actually hear it tonight. So whatever you've done there.
Plug the fridge back in. There we go.
I
forgot to plug it back in the other week.
Yeah.
Better start the show.
Did you unplug it last time we did a show and then forgot to plug it in so the next day everything was warm?
Yep.
Really? So you know what you need to do? Get yourself a timer, Greeno, that you plug into the wall, and then just set it for 2 hours every Friday night.
For 2 hours on a Friday night.
Yeah.
So we don't hear it.
Yeah, between 8:30 and 10:30, turn it off, and then it will turn itself back on. You set it once, and you never have to worry about it ever again. I mean, they cost like 10, $15 at Bunnings. Like seriously,
I don't know. I don't have
so
that
easy,
money, mate.
so easy to program, and then bang, 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 it's done, and you never have to set and forget Greeno, and it's done.
Or I could just unplug it and plug it back in.
Yeah, but then you forget Greeno. This way,
Yeah, it's worth the risk.
Is it?
It's like playing Russian roulette every Friday. Is Greeno going to remember to plug the fridge back in?
Yeah, but if you got beers in there,
am I going to have a whole bunch of rancid meat? It depends how we go.
Yeah.
We're going to kick stuff to show at some point. I want to do a quick muted word of the week if we can, sir.
Okay, what do you got for me?
Now, this one was a late addition to the program. Well, technically not muted word, muted numbers of the week, if I can. I had to mute the numbers 1989.
1989. What happened in 1989?
Well, nothing happened in 1989. I'll tell you what did happen. Fucking Taylor Swift re-released the fucking album 1989 today.
Oh, God.
So all I've seen on my timeline, once again, it's ruining my fun as sport, 80s movies and tit, is fucking Taylor's version of 1989. Now, she's scamming all her fans. Well done. Good on her. She's re-releasing all of them, referring to them as Taylor's version, so she gets more cash.
Isn't this isn't this like the second or third one of her albums that she's re-released?
Yeah, I think what she's doing is, I think it's a copyright thing.
Yeah.
So I think her old record label owns the rights to the old albums.
You know what? I'm going to give her a nice Gary.
I'm giving her a nice Gary because she's found a loophole.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that. I'm like, nice loophole, but fucking had to mute you because you're ruining my timeline.
You must have also then muted Kansas City Chiefs. That must have been muted a few.
I muted that weeks ago, bro. I had to. I cannot watch. I've literally. I swear to God, I have not watched a Kansas City Chiefs game in 4 weeks. It's just a shame because I love fucking Patty Mahomes. I love what he does. I love the brand of football they play. I cannot watch it because every third second they're cutting the fucking Taylor Swift in the skybox.
I think Taylor Swift she's in that very special category of celebrity women who are incredibly fuckable. Like, let's be honest, she's a looker, you know.
I don't think so. I'm the opposite thing.
I kind of like her. She's
I don't
my
see
kind of
it.
type.
I'm puzzled by it.
Oh, well, but let's say that, you didn't feel that way. Let's say that you thought
let's
you put her in the
let's say
that you put her in the fuckable
which I
category.
don't, to be fair. Yeah.
But let's say that were the case. Now, what makes her unfuckable is all the attention that comes along with fucking Taylor Swift. Now, if I was that guy who played for the Kansas City Chiefs, I'd fucking hate it because now look at all the scrutiny he has on him, on his career. If he has a fumble or something, or he misses a tackle or whatever the fuck he does in the football team,
he's tight end.
I don't know what the fuck do tight ends do, Green?
That's an offensive weapon. So he's the guy that Patty Mahomes throws to when he's not throwing to the wide receivers.
So if he fumbles, right? If he drops a pass, there's more people are going to notice now, and that's I would hate to be Taylor Swift's fucking boyfriend. It would be a
argument
nightmare.
to it is he makes a routine play now, which he does plenty because
he's a hero.
He's a great player. Yeah. And have a look at that amazing catch from fucking Travis Kelce. It's all very stupid.
There you go, Greeno. We fixed something else. You don't know anything about racism. I don't know anything about football. If only Colin Kaepernick had started fucking Taylor Swift, he probably could have got a career.
He'd be starting QB anywhere.
Yeah.
There you go.
Unfortunately for him, he was fucking an activist, a communist activist, Greeno, which didn't work out well for him.
Wrong call.
Yeah, he should have gone with Taylor Swift, the whitest white girl in America. Okay. And then he would have got all the attention he wanted after that point. It wouldn't have been a problem. Could have played terrible. Nobody would have cared. Good for you, Colin. We love you, mate.
Because you're getting the ratings because you're banging Taylor.
The only problem is if you do go out with Taylor Swift, it's a very short-term boost. Maybe this guy, I forget his name even. Maybe this
Travis
guy,
Kelce.
Travis Kelce. Maybe he's only doing it for a contract negotiation because we all know Taylor Swift's boyfriends only last like 6 months at most.
He's like a two-time Super Bowl champion. He's one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, right.
So he doesn't do it for the boost.
Okay. So who's boosting who? Is he boosting Taylor or is Taylor boosting?
I think they're boosting each other, right? Because Taylor's trying to promote her re-released album and her movie that she released, which makes no sense because fucking her fans are lunatics. So they'll just watch whatever or buy whatever
fans
she
like 12-year-old girls?
Yeah, 100%. But they fucking love her. Like, they're just lunatics. And he's already like a world famous football player who can he's already achieved everything he needs to in the
Maybe
game.
this is a big ploy by the NFL to get 12-year-old girls to watch football, Greeno.
100% it is, because fucking a whole bunch of people are watching the NFL now. Hence the reason they're cutting a fucking Taylor Swift every 3 seconds.
Imagine going to an NFL game and they're selling Taylor Swift merchandise instead of the team, Greeno.
It's not far off, bro. It's not far off. Can I give an example of why I don't rate Taylor Swift as well?
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, Taylor, she's very skinny, she's got a bit of a rat face. But aside from that, they put her, like, if you look at her individually, you're like, yeah, she's okay, whatever. She was in the box 3 weeks ago with Blake Lively. And you come to realize, like, well, she's the ugly friend in that relationship.
Who, Blake Lively or Taylor Swift?
No, Taylor is. Like, Blake Lively, absolute glamour. Yeah. And you're like, well, hang on, comparing the two, my word, you really see the comparison.
They're different looks, though. Blake Lively's that's Ryan Reynolds' wife, isn't
it? Yeah.
She's more your girl next door kind of look, though. I think the
opposite. I think, Blake's your beauty queen that is untouchable, like dating the QB, whereas Taylor's like the nerdy girl that does well in math that you'll ask for advice because you're struggling in the exam.
I will give it to you that Taylor Swift, the thing that goes against her is it's like the rib. I'm not a big fan of like the ribs sticking out and stuff. She's a little too skinny.
Need a bit more meat on the bones.
But I still think she's very fuckable.
I don't know. I think I'd walk past her.
Really?
Really?
Turn her down.
I'd turn it. Yeah.
You might get an NFL contract out of it, though, Green.
Potentially. We'll see how we go.
Yeah.
So that was the muted word of the week. A little bit of housekeeping, if we can, / story time.
Oh, please, let's go.
I like stories about
Unfortunately,
pinatas.
I don't have a sound effect for housekeeping. We need to get a vacuum cleaner on here on the soundboard.
To get something and then going there.
Yeah. More pledge.
Did something today. I cannot remember the last time I ate, to be fair, because I had to go do a bit of a meat shop. And on the list, I was meant to be. We had
to sell your house, did you, to get some ribs in the freezer, or what?
Not far off, but I had to do a bit of a restructure because we talked about it on the show before. I pre-planned my meals a week in advance, write a menu, and it's all sorted. Now we were meant to go out on Tuesday night to go see a circus in the area because we got some free tickets. And we're like, all right, we'll go to the circus. The kids are all pumped up. Well, this will be great. Tuesday night.
Local circus. Homeless people basically with face paint walking around.
No,
with drugged up animals. Yeah, fuck yeah.
I wish. No, this was an international circus. So it was like fucking people on motorbikes doing flips and shit. Like it was actually pretty good. So we're all pumped up for that. Kids were excited. We'd been planning it for about 4 or 5 weeks. I'm all right. You understand, Damo. Kids in daycare, at a minute's notice, they can become ill. So you're just like, well, I'm not fucking forking out a couple $100 for tickets until like day off. So make sure we've got the health clearances.
Yes.
To make sure we can attend the event. So as that Monday, we were looking good. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go buy these tickets. We're good to go. So I jump on and I'm like, why are there no tickets for Tuesday? Because we're meant to go Tuesday night. It was the only free night we had this week. All right, no tickets.
Tuesday, go to the circus on a Tuesday night. I don't want to interrupt the story, Greeno, but I feel I must. I can now hear the fridge, unfortunately. So you're going to have to unplug it again, mate.
Well, unplug the fridge. Yeah, bear with me. I'll set the timer. Okay. There we go. Better.
There you go. Much better. 100%. Yeah.
But so what I'm going to do?
Tuesday night circus.
I'm going to hang the fridge cord over so I don't forget it.
Yeah, hang it over the mic.
I've now got it around my neck.
Yeah, around my neck. Yeah.
So if I try and leave, I know I'm reminded to fucking put the fridge back in. So Tuesday night we're going to go to the circus because that was our only free night of the week. And they were only here for like 5 days.
Sorry to interrupt again, Greeno, but it reminds me of that Rodney Rude joke where the guy walks up to him and he's got a tampon behind his ear. And he says to him, why you got a tampon behind your ear? And he goes, to remind me of the cunt that stole my pencil.
There you go. Well done. Nice guy.
I like stories about pinatas.
So I was playing that. Turns out they didn't end up doing the circus on that particular night. They're like, we're here for a week. Excellent.
Yeah.
Failed to mention we're not here Monday, Tuesday. even though they're here for a week. So they've given us dates, 20th to 27th.
Wait, so they sold you a ticket for the Tuesday, did they? Or?
Well, no. They didn't sell me a ticket. They gave us free tickets for the kids through a school promotion and said we're here from the 20th to the 27th, but failed to mention on the 21st and 22nd, they're not actually here.
So it's like a failed Chinese restaurant. You know how they're always shut, like on Mondays?
On Mondays, 100%.
Okay, we don't do lunch and we don't do Mondays or Sundays. No Sunday, no Monday. That's it. We're out.
Yeah, because people don't eat on Sunday and Monday.
Apparently not.
So that put me in a pickle because I had to like readjust my menu plan. Because I'm like, well, no, Tuesday we're meant to be out. We're meant to eat in whatever they sell at the circus.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
cotton candy for dinner, kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Popcorn, candy
Popcorn,
apples.
Candy, donuts. We're going to go crazy.
Lolly bags.
So that led to me having to move.
Hot dogs.
Led me having to move Friday to Tuesday, the Friday's meal to Tuesday, and deal with today at a later date. So worked out what we had in the fridge, put a bit of a mystery bag together yesterday. It turned out the only thing I could really concoct was I was going to do some baked potatoes, sour cream, and chives.
Okay. Fuck
I'm
yeah.
like, that's beautiful. That's all good.
Fuck
but
yeah.
I felt like that was going to be unsatisfying.
Do you have any sides with that though? I'd want
That's
some
the point.
broccoli on the side.
That's the point,
you know.
right? I felt like that was going to be unsatisfying in itself as a meal. So when I was doing the meat shopping today, I'm like,
how many? Hang on, how many? Because I could eat potato. You know, I've eaten potatoes for a year, 2 years straight.
Yeah.
So like I could live just on potatoes and be quite happy with that. Not even with anything on them, just boiled potatoes. I would eat fine, no problem. I'm very simple when it comes to cuisine in many ways. Now, how many potatoes with sour creams and chives would I be getting? Is it just one each? Did you have a whole bag?
No, fuck no. No, like I'm not talking baked potatoes. You just chuck them in the oven, like the Mitch Hedberg joke.
Yeah.
Like even if I don't want to, baked potatoes take forever. Even if I don't want a baked potato, I put it in the oven because maybe by the time it's done, I'll be hungry.
So you had plenty of potatoes.
I put like 12 potatoes in the oven just to be safe.
Yeah.
So there's plenty there.
Got to admit, I'm not a fan of the sour cream filling. I always like your bolognese baked
You can put that
potato.
in, but that involves me making bolognese.
And you've got to get mince, Greeno, which is the only meat you can. It's the only meat you can afford these days. Kangaroo mince,
Pretty much,
obviously.
Kangaroo mince.
Yeah, that you wouldn't feed to the
delicacy.
dog.
You can't. Yeah. So went to meat shopping today, and I was like, look, I feel like this is an unsatisfying dinner. I need to add something to it. So I was just I go to like a wholesale meat place. I'm like, let's see what they got. I feel like I do kebabs too frequently, like chicken kebabs on skewers. I'm like, nah, that's too easy.
Now, see, do you call those a kebab or is that a shish kebab?
Well, it's a shish kebab, whatever you want to call it. It's the meat on a stick.
Well,
whatever
the
you want to fucking call it.
kebab terminology is it's a contentious issue because
it is.
Some people call them, wraps. Some people call them kebabs. Some people call them souvlakis, Greeno. And then your kebab that's on a stick. Some people just call them skewers, meat skewers. Some people call them
skewers,
chicken sticks, Greeno. Have you ever heard
sticks, chicken skewers?
Chicken skewer.
And then you got shish kebabs.
Shish kebab. The only kebabs I really like, Greeno, is the ones that I make myself. Was where I'll get like a chunk, like I'll cube up beef myself, and then put like the onion slice over the top, and then the tomato, capsicum
in there,
yeah, and all that kind of. Those are the best kebabs.
They're the best.
Yeah,
I got a beautiful ginger and soy dressing on like a beef onion skewer. Oh man.
I just like a bit of mustard on it, Greeno.
Oh no, that's good as well. But this thing with a bit of you marinate overnight, amazing.
Yeah. We're slowly becoming a cooking show, by the way.
It really is.
Incidentally, in the chat, Greeno, we've got Kitty B joining us, and she said the dog eats the same thing she eats, but just with less seasoning. Greeno, it's a nice game.
Yeah, that's pretty much what my dog ends up eating.
And Jim Edwards joined us, and he said you can put any meat on a stick if you're not a bitch. So there you go.
There you go.
And what about kangaroo meat on a kangaroo meat kebabs?
You can do it. It's just gonna taste like shit, though, Jim. That's the problem.
Like shit. Tastes like dog meat, but as long as you put enough seasoning on it, then it'll be all right.
Isn't that the old Crocodile Dundee line? Like, oh, you guys eat all this stuff? Yeah, you can eat it. It just tastes like shit.
Well, no, but you're missing context from that story. So he kills, is it a goanna or something, or a lizard or some shit?
Yeah, he's got like a goanna on a stick.
Snake.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's cooking a snake, and he's like, Linda Kozlowski's going to eat it. And she's like, you can eat this, can you? And he pulls out a tin of baked beans at that time, like from his backpack or whatever. And he goes, oh, you can eat it, and pulls out the baked beans, but it tastes like shit.
Tastes like shit.
Incidentally, I've got a quick little story time for you.
I
Yeah,
like
mate, could I finish this
stories
story?
about pinatas.
Yeah. If you want, I
Let me
mean,
finish your story.
this
I'm
one will
almost
take 30
finished.
seconds. Like,
Yeah, but I'm
to
almost
do.
finished my story. I mean, it fucking feels like it's been going on forever.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's the starting block. What do you expect?
I know.
You're going to get
Alicia.
interrupted on this show, mate.
Yeah.
That's what
And
happens.
that's what happens.
Yeah.
And the wife said to me like a couple of weeks ago, she's like, you know what we never eat? It's like crumbed. I just want to find something. I just want like a crumb steak. And I'm
Crumb
like, fucking, all right.
steak. Well,
Yeah,
you'd
like-
crumb a schnitzel, which is a thin steak, and that's usually
Yeah.
veal or something.
Yeah, it's like a veal or like a little minute steak.
Chicken,
It's fine. I'm like,
yeah.
fucking, all right, I'm going to make the wife happy today. I'm going to fucking buy some crumb steak and that'll keep that. It'll be good. We'll have that with baked potatoes, be nice and easy. Put it in the trolley and then walked up a little bit further because this crumb steak, side note, $25.
Yeah. Oh, fuck off.
Walk up a little bit further.
Where's the kangaroo meat, mate?
Walk up a little bit further. Got to pick up some shavabis because I'm doing, what am I doing this week? Oh, I'm doing like a
Shavapi
sausage-
is the biggest fucking scandal, the biggest hype
No,
machine that's
I'm-
ever been
I'm
perpetrated on the
all in on
meat-eating public.
Shavapis, bro.
Fuck Shavapis, mate. Skinless sausage is a fucking scam. Okay.
It's
If it
not
doesn't,
the way I do
no.
it.
Here's the thing: if it doesn't have skin, it ceases to be a sausage. You're just
Correct.
paying for a paste, meat paste.
No,
is what that is.
Correct. Now, what do I use it in? I use it in the recipes. It says, get a sausage, take the case off, and use the meat. So that's what I'm using it for. But in the sausage section, I saw something that I have not eaten, and I cannot remember the last time I ate it. You might have eaten it more recently. Actually, you might have mentioned on the show that you ate it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I haven't had a rissole in like fucking 20 years, I feel.
Make my own rissoles if I have rissoles.
And I looked at the rissoles and I saw $8, and then I looked at the
$8.
and I looked at the steak, the crumb steak that the wife wanted for 22, and I'm like, we're fucking having some rissoles tonight.
Rissoles. That takes me
I
back.
had some.
That takes
I had
us
some
back to our fucking blue collar, low socioeconomic fucking roots, doesn't it, Greeno?
100%. I can.
out in the
I
main
remember my
streets of the
nana-
West.
Nana making some rissoles.
Rissoles.
They tasted like tomato sauce. They were
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
All you could taste was the mince, onion, and tomato sauce.
You'd
But it
have
was
to put
fucking
that
so
much
good.
sauce on it that you couldn't taste the rissole because it tasted like shredded newspaper.
Yeah. But these
Fucking
ones,
garbage.
so good. I was like, $8 for fucking 6 rissoles. Fucking
Yeah.
sign me up.
It's not even. It's not cheap at all. Rissoles should be cheaper than mince, really. Your value
Well, it
adding.
was.
Well, okay. So a couple of stories.
I
here,
like
quick-
stories
I
about
got 800
pinatas.
grams of rissoles
Yeah.
for $8.
Yeah. Well,
You can't get mince.
no,
Fucking
that's
$10
true.
a kilo.
Yeah, definitely. So, as you know, Greeno, I was once a butcher. Fully qualified and everything. Got my trade certificate. I haven't done it in about 20 years because as soon as I got my certificate, as soon as they said you're a qualified butcher, I said thanks for that and walked out of the fucking place whistling.
Yeah.
See you later, boys. Thanks for the ticket. I'm out of here, and I've never done it ever since. So I don't have a lot of experience, but I have been like trained. It is a trade here in this country. It's not. I don't think it's a trade in other countries. I think anyone can just kind of walk in and do it. But here,
I don't think so. I think it's.
I'm not sure.
Like it's a legitimate
I'm,
trade.
I'm genuinely not sure. It's definitely here. Like and when I say trade, I mean like you have to be qualified to do it, like an electrician or a plumber or something, which
Yeah.
seems kind of ridiculous, but that's
Well, it
the way
doesn't,
is.
because you're literally wielding fucking like death-defying blades. To
Yes.
what? You almost fucking killed yourself one day.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, my left hand. I once said to someone, my left hand looks like an impressionist version of Picasso. With all the scars and shit that I've got on my left hand from cutting up stuff.
100%.
Usually, while I was high, when I was a teenager, you'd go in off your tits, which is what you do when you're handling sharp objects, kids. If you're listening
Well,
out
that's-
there, if you want to be safe.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and this may be an imagined story time. Wasn't that like half the class at TAFE?
Oh,
It was like-
you've got no idea. Oh, mate, because
Yeah, it was like,
yeah.
hey guys, let's have a couple of cones before we fucking go to class.
Oh, it wasn't even a couple because butchery here is basically it's one trade you can get into without an education. All right.
Yeah.
So I did it. I was a pretty smart kid when I was younger, but I hated fucking school. So I did anything to get out of school.
Well, you're still a smart kid. You just,
Well, I'm not a
Yeah.
kid anymore.
Nonetheless.
Yeah, so I was desperate to get out of school, so I left early, and I'm like, I'm going to be a butcher, and obviously, Mum cried and said, "What the fuck are you doing that for? That's a job for criminals." And I'm like, "Well, I don't care. I don't, I'll get a trade and I'll get paid, and I'll fucking move out, when I'm 17 or 18 or whatever the fuck I was, and I'll get the fuck out of here because I hate fucking school." And so I went and. It's the one trade that you can get without. You don't need to understand electronics. You don't need to understand circuitry. You don't need to do any maths or anything. It's just like you need to understand how to cut up a dead animal. So it's a very kind of primal, trade.
Right. How is this a trade, bro?
Yeah, well, it is.
How is this a 3-year
4-year apprenticeship? 4 years. I could have been a dentist, Greeno, in 4 years.
Here's the knife. It took me less to be an accountant.
Yes.
I didn't have to take for 3 years for that, bro.
Oh, mate. So when I started going, so what happens is you get a job, and while you're working, you can choose to either go to TAFE, which is kind of like I guess it's like for the American version, like community college. Yeah. So you can go 1 day a week, or you can take like a 2-week block a couple of times a year. And obviously I opted for the 2-week block because I'm like, I don't want to go every week. I'll just take a holiday every few months to take 2 weeks off work. And I rock up to this place, and none of us know each other because we all work in different shops. We've all got different bosses. No one really knows what anyone else knows. And on the first morning, we were sculling tequila at 7 a.m. in the car park.
Remember this story? Yeah.
Straight tequila. So it didn't take me long to make friends, right? Obviously. And it wasn't just the tequila, it was weed. Weed was like cigarettes to these boys, but it was bags, it was the lot, Greeno. And we're there, and we're supposed to be learning, and everyone's just fucking off chops the whole fucking time. Everybody passed.
There's a reason you guys chose to be butchers, to not go to class.
Exactly. And here we are sitting in class. It's like, fuck you.
Sitting in class.
Now, to their credit, the instructors, the qualified butcher teachers that were teaching us, who were deciding, they knew. They fucking knew because they did it too.
They did themselves.
It's a very cultural butcher.
25 years ago.
It's a very cultural butcher thing,
Yeah.
And so much so, it was, one of the first lessons the instructor said to us all. He said, "Look, boys, we all know why we're here. We're not the sharpest tools in the shed, but we have to learn how to use the sharpest tools in the shed." He said, "I don't give a fuck what you." He goes, I swear to God, he said, "I fully expect half of you to be illiterate, but as long as you know how to use a knife, that's all I care about." So the written test, the answers are up on the board now. Just fill it out as you see it, and then we'll go in and start cutting up some meat.
Yeah. Scary. Because why the fuck are you doing a written test to be a butcher?
Because it's a government thing, government regulation.
But it's the dumbest fucking thing ever. Can you cut up the meat? Yes, excellent. You're a butcher. Well done. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. So long story short, this is a story time. So as I was butchering, there was this lady who used to come in, and we would sell dog meat in like an ice cream container, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it was like $5 back in the day. It was fuck all. And it was like, it was, dog specific, meat. And it was clearly it was offcuts, preservatives, some fucking vegetables and rice thrown into it and stuff. Yeah. And she'll come in and buy this every single week. And I said to one of the other guys, I said, "You know her? She's been doing this for a while." And he's like, yeah, she's been coming here for years. And I said, "Oh, okay, what kind of dogs does she have?" Because I've always been like an animal lover. And he said, "Oh, she doesn't have any dogs." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, no, she comes in, she buys it, and she roasts it, and then puts gravy on it, and it's meatloaf. So that was an answer to Kitty B's, I eat the same thing just with less seasoning, with more seasoning. Yeah. So there you go. It does happen. When times are tough, people will eat dog food.
Find a way to eat it, yeah.
Because in many ways, the dog food that you can get now is pretty premium stuff. You can get stuff with chunks of steak in it now.
I had to buy a couple of loaves of dog food today in the meat shop. And I'm like, this is costing more than the rissoles. There's something wrong here. I should feed the dog the rissoles. I'll cook up this. Yep. Very good.
Yeah.
I just realized
one other little side story, Greeno, for you.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about home creations. I'm a big fan of the deep fry.
Yeah.
I've got a deep fryer. I love my deep fryer. It's like my favorite thing in this house.
Talking deep fryer or talking air fryer?
No, deep fryer. Fuck the air
Okay.
fryer. That's something that the lady Boogs always laughs about. Is she's like, so because I'm like, I'm going to go out and buy a deep fryer. I want you to come with me. We'll make this decision together. It's important. And she's like, you're a fucking drama queen sometimes. I'm like, no, we're going to do this together. Right?
Yeah.
So you're going to come out and you're going to help me pick a deep fryer. And she couldn't get over the fact that in an era when everybody is buying air fryers and trying to be more healthy, she's like, you're the only fucking arsehole in this country who went out and said, no, I want one that I fill up with oil. I want an oil deep fry. I want a vat.
Whatever. Yeah.
That's right. So that's exactly what I got, Go out and get myself an oil fucking deep fryer, nice, oily, greasy fucking goodness. Now, I have been pretty good with, I've done some nice chicken, deep fried chicken, Greeno. You've had a little slice of it. When you came over once. It wasn't Lunch of Legends, but it was just kind of like an impromptu, deep fried chicken.
It was an impromptu meal. You're like, I'm going to do the snits. Yeah, I'm going to do a little chicken tenders for you.
Little chicken tendies. Now, I have made the transition since last week. What I did last week was, normally I do so I do like a buttermilk and I do like a flour with different spices and stuff. And it's more like your KFC kind of skin, it's soft. Yeah. It's a soft kind of skin on the outside of the chicken. I substituted last week, and what I did, Greeno, this will rock your world if you've never tried it, cornflakes, Greeno.
No, I've seen that. No.
Oh,
well
mate,
aware of the
I am
cornflakes,
fucking telling you, crushed cornflakes on chicken, it is next fucking level.
It's next level. It's good, man.
The only thing now is to add like a little bit more spice to it, maybe, because I went really conservative with, the herbs and spices. I didn't want to overdo it. I wanted to see, does this work or not? Oh my God, does it fucking work, Greeno?
It does, man. It gives you that beautiful crunch. You get it nice and golden.
Oh, it's so good.
Texture.
So good.
The cornflakes, they're definitely a winner.
Cornflakes has to be, one of the most versatile fucking breakfast cereals of all time. We're not coating our chicken with Wheat Bix or Cocoa Pops.
You can't be putting no Nutri-Grain with chicken tenders, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, Kitty B saying cornflakes in meatloaf is a move as well. So to like fatten up the meatloaf, Greeno, you can have less meat if you chuck in the cornflakes.
You think about it, like
bit
you're
of texture
replacing,
in there, Greeno.
It becomes like that breadcrumb substitute as well.
Ah, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Fucking oath. So yeah, love the cornflakes on the deep fry. There you go.
Nice.
I like stories about pinatas.
We certainly haven't started the show yet, so we might as well fucking continue with that trend, and then we'll have a quick break. So I'm gonna hit the men's. Lunch of Legends you mentioned was last week. Now we haven't done Lunch of Legends in quite a while.
Before you go on with the story,
I like stories about pinatas.
I'm gonna have to give you one of these, Greeno. It's justified. I'm going to have to sign Greeno's sorry book tonight, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because if you're an avid listener to the show, one, you must have some kind of mental illness, but two, you'll remember that I gave Greeno a little bit of shit because, we had planned, we teed up the Lunch of Legends, and he turned it down. He canned it because he went in for gut surgery, got his guts opened up.
No. I was, I think I had the flu that week.
Whatever the fucking excuse was, whatever the pussy down excuse was.
You got a cough over your food, and then I had surgery like 3 weeks later.
3 weeks later,
it was
so
delayed,
couldn't service nachos, couldn't do the nachos. And I remember saying something to the effect of, these better be the best fucking nachos I've ever had in my life. The fact that I'm going to be waiting 6 months for them.
Yeah, them up for 6 months.
Now, I will tell you genuinely, hand on heart, dear listener, and I'm not lying when I say this, these, Greeno, they were the best nachos that I've ever had in my fucking life, mate. They were absolutely sensational. I felt like a fucking pig because I piled up like 2 dinner plates. The kind of dinner plate that you get in an Italian restaurant, when it's oversized, Greeno?
Yeah.
I piled up 2 of those suckers. I'm like, I can't stop eating it. I cannot stop. This is like heroin in nacho form. This is ridiculous. Yeah. So congratulations, my friend. Absolutely sensational stuff. And who would have thought the simple nacho? Because when I heard nachos, I was like, oh, he's taking the easy road here. Yeah, he's not 100%. Even trying at all. Nachos, any fucking idiot can do that.
You questioned me. I remember you giving me a bit of a tisk when I first put it out there, and I'm like, "Man, I'm making nachos." And you're like, "Wait, Lunch of Legends? You are putting nachos on the meal? Like, you've not tasted my nachos." Yeah. I'm like, "There's a fair bit of effort that goes into this bad boy."
My Lunch of Legends, come over, I'll give you a frozen meat pie. Fuck,
yeah,
nachos.
Exactly. Yeah. So there was a bit of apprehension because you've only ever tasted old school bad nachos. This is fucking Greeno's. There's a lot of elements happening, and you ask me, I don't understand why it tastes so good. I don't understand why I can keep eating it. And I was explaining that there's fucking 6 different elements to the nacho, and each of them have their place, and they all complement each other.
It's a balancing act. It's a delicate dance.
Nothing is heavy.
Yes.
Yeah. So you get to the end of it, and you're like, oh, I could eat a little bit more.
These were so good, dear listener, chat. These were so good that I could taste the lime juice in the fucking tabbouleh that he made, or whatever you say. The salsa. I could taste the element of lime juice in the salsa, and I'm telling you, these things were drenched with fucking meat and melted cheese and fucking all kinds of stuff, and I could taste like that fraction of lime juice in the salsa that I sprinkled on top of the shit. Like you could taste everything.
And why was it there, Damo? To cut through that cheese a little bit.
It was very good. It was
everything had their place and it was worth the effort.
The only negative, I think, from the whole experience was the fact that you made 40 litres of cheese because you fucked up the calculation.
That's the story time, right? No, Lunch of Legends. We're making the nachos.
Pinatas.
We're making the nachos, and I'm looking at the standard recipe I normally make for the family, and I'm sitting there going, well, okay, we've got 3 families coming over. I just need to triple everything, which is fine. That's easy to do. Yeah. So I've got like the mince element, I've got the corn chip element, I've got the salsa element, I've got the avocado element, I've got the what else? The jalapeno, the pickled jalapenos element, and then
nice call on the pickled jalapenos, by the way, because I'd never tried a pickled jalapeno before. You know me, I'm a big chili guy. I love my chili.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I have never had pickled jalapenos before, and I was very skeptical, Greeno, very skeptical going.
You were. I'm like, no.
Wait, these are coming out of a fucking jar? I don't know about this.
No.
I don't know about this.
You need it on there, and you need like 8 or 9 based on the serving you'd had.
Yes.
And the first thing you said to me was like, you've changed my life here.
Yep.
He's going, I cannot believe these people jalapenos. Like,
I literally turned to my wife and said, put it on the fucking shopping list right now. Pickled jalapenos. They're coming to our house tomorrow.
So I've rationed everything out, right? I've put everything in the right things. I'm like, okay, I've tripled that, and I've gone and done the grocery shop based on everything being tripled to feed 3 families, which is all good, right? Yeah. Now, I did not fuck up the measurements. I legitimately tripled everything. Now, what I didn't realize, though, is one thing I forgot is every time I make nachos for my family, there's way too much cheese sauce in the end. So what I'm left
it's better to have more than not enough, isn't it?
More than not enough. Clearly. But like it was a disproportionate. Whenever I make it for my family, it's always a disproportionate amount of cheese sauce left. And there's like a lot of cheese involved. Like there's like 4 different cheeses in that bad boy to go with a bunch of other shit. Yep. So I always end up.
You had cheese in there. You had cheese in there from animals I didn't even know existed. The guy looked at me as I'm piling the cheese into my trolley, like I was a bit of a weirdo. Yeah. He's like, "That's an inappropriate amount of cheese." I'm like, "Gotta make it." Trick comment. There's no such thing as an inappropriate amount of cheese.
So I'm sitting there. I'm doing all that. I've got everything. I've done my mise en place. I've got my fucking mince going. I've already done my salsa. I've cut up my avocado. I've got the lime juice there that doesn't get brown. I've got the other things going. I've meshed all that out, and I get to the cheese bit. And I've got all that there. And it wasn't until that point when I was doing it for 3 families that I'm like, okay, measured all that out. That's all that. This seems like a lot of cheese. That's okay. It wasn't that. It was the fact that I got to the point where it said 1.5 liters of milk.
1.5 liters. How many? What's that in gallons, Greeno?
I don't know what it is in a gallon. It's a lot of fucking milk.
It's a lot of milk.
So most families in a week drink a liter of cheese. A liter of milk. A liter of milk.
You were drinking a liter of cheese for the week after the nachos.
We had a liter and a half in this liquid cheese, and I'm like, this seems excessive.
It's a lot of cheese. It's a lot of cheese.
We get to the end. We get to the end of the meal. Everyone's had a thing. People have gone back for seconds. It was all good. And I looked, and I'm like, I still feel like there's literally a liter of cheese sauce.
Fuck, am I going to do with this cheese? And the problem with cheese sauce is that you're kind of stuck. It needs to stay warm because if it solidifies, you're fucked. You know, like
fucked. Yeah,
it's like trying to dig. You know, it's like you need a backhoe to dig it out of the pot, Greeno, because it's just
100%.
fat. It just sticks to the pot. You'll never clean it. You'll never get rid of it. So you need to keep it warm. So it basically needs to sit on the stove for the next fucking 3 or 4 days until you use it on a low heat.
It's probably inappropriate considering there's a liter and a half of milk in the bad boy. So look, it went well. That was the important thing. It was delicious. But side note, halve the recipe next time. That's it.
Do you like your novelty comedy songs organic? Handmade with painstaking care, put into every note. Well, look no further than Irrational Times. Using only the finest instruments to create an experience that your ears will thank you for later, Irrational Times attempts to elevate the whimsy to a desirable level. New songs and sketches every week, so check it out.
There's a place that we can go to watch old things. All the warm, fuzzy member berries it brings. It's a special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Campy old movies and old cartoons. We hope to see you over there very soon. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. When we were kids and there wasn't any school, we'd sit and watch all the best cartoons, eating cereal until it was noon. We never thought that 30 years later it'd still be cool. Saturday night and cheesy movies, the ones that used to show us boobies. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy.
Now with less than 3% sport content. It's the starting block on TAVshow.com.
Yes, welcome back to the block, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. A little bit of feedback for you in the chat, Greeno, because I think you got it wrong. I don't think it was a litre and a half. A litre and a half isn't actually that much. I think because it was like a fucking big crock pot. Jim N-Word in the chat explained that a quarter gallon is 1 litre. So obviously 4 litres is a gallon. I think it was closer to 4 litres because it was the kind of pot that you could stew a fucking lamb's head in.
No,
it was fucking huge.
It was 4 litres of liquid cheese, but it was a litre and a half of milk in there.
Litre and a half of milk, right? So, but it was 4 litres of liquid cheese.
Oh, it was, no, like, yeah, if we're talking about,
It was a lot of fucking liquid cheese, put it that way.
There was a lot. There was a fair bit. I'm trying to think of a movie context of I think of the pot that Mrs. Doubtfire when
Doubtfire.
She's learned how to cook. The pot that she's steaming the lobster in.
Yeah.
It was that full of fucking liquid cheese.
God, that's a fucking obscure reference you're asking of me here, Greeno.
It's the only movie I could think of that has like a pot of the same size.
Okay, wow. Your
Anyway, speaking of movies,
phenomenal. So let's address this because we spoke about this last week when I said I remember
last season.
Last season, yes. Pardon me, of course. Season 57, I think it was. Well, 58 or one of those.
Something like that.
Yeah, so I mentioned that I remember John Candy in a Cannonball Run movie, and then we looked through and found that John Candy was not in Cannonball Run, and he wasn't even in Cannonball 2, Greeno.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like I feel like I got a win here, but it was an unintentional win. You know what I mean? It was like when you're playing poker and you don't realize that you've got the winning hand and you go, well, I guess I'm out, and you flip your cards over and everyone goes, oh, you fucking idiot, you won, you know, that kind of situation.
You won on a pair of juices.
Yeah, that's right, you know. Yeah, I feel like it was one of those situations because High Plains Grifter got in touch with us and he said, look, just want to set you boys straight. John Candy was in a Cannonball Run movie. He was in Cannonball 3, Greeno. Now, I didn't even know that there was a Cannonball 3. I thought it was 1 and 2 and done, and that was it. They were out.
Well, the reason being is it was called Speed Zone.
Speed Zone. So why has it got Cannonball 3? Cannonball Run 3?
Because it was part of the franchise, but it was called Cannonball Run 3 Speed Zone, according to High Plains 207.
Is Cannonball part of the National Lampoon's thing?
No, I think it's separate.
Because, you know, National Lampoon's business model, like they sell the National Lampoon's label to people and then anybody can make a National
Lampoon's Van Wilder, National Lampoon's.
Yes.
Yeah, those kind of things.
So I was thinking, okay, so it was called, you know, National Lampoon's Speed Run or something, and then someone else bought the rights to it and called it Cannonball Run. So it was called Cannonball Run 3 in Germany, apparently, because I forget what this means, something like it's going to get hot on the highway or something.
It's going to get fast on the highway. Off them highway gets its Richardos.
Thank you for that. Your German is fucking flawless, by the way.
It's flawless. Look out, when a schnitzel.
Something like it's gonna happen out on the highway.
It's going to be fast out there on the highway.
And there we go. John Candy, Alyssa Milano, Brooke Shields, Eugene Levy. Now, can I ask you, you got to pick one, Alyssa Milano or Brooke Shields? Which way are you going?
Oh, can I have neither?
Oh, no, you got to pick one. Now, you have to pick, you can pick one in their prime. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Brooke Shields for me, it's like hands down.
Yeah, I'm thinking Brooke as well.
Yep. But only pre-Eddie Murphy, because I don't want to know what Eddie did to her. Like, I'm not going there.
She was with Eddie Murphy, was she?
She was, yeah.
I only remember her with Andre Agassi.
Yeah, that was after Eddie Greeno.
Oh, really? There you go. I remember with Michael Jackson for a bit. See, actually, no, I changed my mind. I'm going to Alyssa, because I don't want to know what Michael did to her.
Oh, no, Alyssa Milano, you don't want any of that, surely.
No, well, yeah.
Surely
we're talking Peg.
Peter Boyle, Greeno? Peter Boyle?
Yeah, Peter Boyle from thing. Do you know who Matt Frewer is?
No, I don't.
All right, should we give the chat an opportunity to say what movie Matt Frewer might have been on that is probably well known in Cannonball Run and 3?
I'll put some thinking music on. Jim's the only one in the chat, so he'll have.
Jim's got the Law and Order amount of time.
We'll give you a couple of seconds. Now, who is Matt Frewer?
Matt Frewer.
And what's he from? I haven't heard of any of these other people. Shari Belafonte. I'm assuming she's related to the banana guy because that's the only other Belafonte.
Harry Belafonte?
Is it Harry? Might be. Lee Van Cleef. Greeno, never heard of him. And Donna Dixon, never heard of her either. So, not quite sure.
Yeah, Shari Belafonte. And yeah, she's the daughter of Harry Belafonte, a world-famous singer, actor, and civil rights activist.
Nice, Gary.
We want no part of her as well.
Yeah.
Now, let's have a look at Donna Dixon.
Donna Dixon, what did she do? Jim's saying he's got no fucking idea, by the way, who Matt Frewer is. So,
okay, all right. So Donna Dixon looks to be. Okay, so this looks to be Donna Dixon is the spouse of Dan Aykroyd.
Really?
And let's have a look at prime Donna Dixon.
So that makes me think that Dan Aykroyd must have had a producer credit in this movie because otherwise she wouldn't be in it.
Okay, so you asked the question of we going to Alyssa or Brooke Shields?
Yep.
No. We are taking prime Donna Dixon.
Really?
Is the answer to the question, sir.
Really?
Yes, 100% we are.
Come on, give me a time range. Like, are we talking late 80s here?
Or just Google Donna Dixon images and go to the 5th image.
Okay, Donna Dixon. Let's have a look here. Oh.
While you're looking this up, the answer to the question, Matt Frewer was the neighbor, the dad neighbor in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, right, that guy, with the baseball cap, Greeno.
With the baseball cap, that's the one. There you go.
I watched that only recently and I loved it.
Me too. I watched it with my little one.
Okay, there she is, Donna Dixon, Greeno.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better than Alyssa. That's better than Brooke, I think.
I don't know if it's better than Brooke, prime.
We'll go 2 over then. It's kind of a similar picture.
Yeah, no.
Actually, no, sorry.
I don't.
Go
No,
third row. Third row, last image on the end.
I can't say it's better than Brooke in her prime because she was pretty good in her
Well,
prime.
yeah, Brooke's also like 14 there, bro.
No, she's not. She's old there. This isn't. What was that movie she did? When
Blue
she was-
Lagoon.
Blue Lagoon. That's the one.
Actually, no, yeah, go to Donna Dixon, third row down, very far right.
Third row down, very far right. Very far right. So she's got Jim's vote out there, by the way. She's on the very far right.
Yeah.
Third row down, very far right. Images.
Like silver jumpsuit happening.
Silver jumpsuit. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. So this is Dan Aykroyd's missus, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I've got it. Let's see here.
That's the one.
That's the one. I'm gonna have to blow it up. It's not in good resolution, unfortunately.
Nah, the resolution's pretty bad. It is 1989, so.
Yeah, that's true.
So there you go, Cannonball Run 3. So well done, the hate speech. He's got us onto that, and now I feel like it's only appropriate just to watch the trailer.
Oh,
To get an
absolutely.
understanding of the beauty that is, because we were going to watch it pre-show.
Yeah.
But we said, no, it only feels right to watch this together for the first time and see what we're missing here
Let's have a
on
look.
Cannonball Fever.
I never even knew that Cannonball Run 3 see, that's the thing. I must have seen it at some point when I was a kid to remember John Candy in a Cannonball Run movie.
100%. It would
Because
have
I
been
was
one of those
adamant.
movies.
Yeah.
It would have been one of those movies was on like Channel 9, 12:30 on a Sunday.
2 in the
where
morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
we were
stoned
still
out
up
of your
and we had
brain.
nothing else
Yeah.
to watch. 100% we would have watched it then. That's where some of the best movies were on. You're like, you found these little gems
Yeah.
at fucking like after midnight because they couldn't play Cannonball Run 3 at 8:30 on a Sunday night. They had to play the hits.
And let me tell
So
you,
then-
I remember John Candy in Cannonball Run. I don't remember Donna Dixon. Put it that way. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at what we got here. Oh, right. Orion Greeno.
Getting from coast to coast has never been easy. But Americans have the kind of driving ambition to meet the challenge and live by the rules of the road. No tailgating. No littering. My God.
I do remember that.
No tipping.
I do remember
So
that.
this must be the movie you saw late at night.
That black guy, I remember that where they're fucking him up, where they're fucking his car up and then they shit themselves. And he's, my fucking car. I remember this bit.
No tipping.
You can be so cool.
Why, thank you. No
Eugene
concealed
Levy.
weapons. No invisible weapons. The new stealth.
Well,
You know what? I remember this Arab guy too, staring at that lady's boobas. I do remember this. I'm getting flashes of, hot flashes of memories, Greeno.
are those boobas? I think that's Donna Dixon.
Is that Donna Dixon? No, she's blonde, isn't she?
Well, she's blonde in real life. Doesn't mean she hasn't put on a
true.
brown wig for this program.
The only thing when you look at like the late 80s, early 90s women, Greeno, it's hard to get past the bush factor, isn't it? Because they're all packing bush. It's, it makes, don't you think it takes like 0.5 off their rating?
Well,
instantly?
the reason it doesn't, the reason I'm not going to take 0.5 off is because in 1989 we had zero bush because we hadn't gone through puberty yet. So
No, but historically, if you're looking back, they all had bush. They all had bush, and that's a point. It's an instant 0.5 to 1.0 off your score immediately.
you're going to have, but we've got the same issue with Brooke and we've got the same issue with Alyssa in 1980s.
Oh, of course, but they're still rating like kind of in the high 8s, 9s.
We're still on the scales.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
right.
Yeah. So we can't take 0.5 off Donna without taking 0.5 off 80s Brooke and 80s Alyssa.
Well, not 15-year-old Brooke. She was in Blue Lagoon, Greta.
No invisible
The only thing I remember from
weapons.
Blue Lagoon is obviously you had Brooke Shields, and like we probably watched that as kids. Not quite
look,
at this age.
that's the
But
problem. That's the problem.
Wasn't there a little bit of there was a bit of dong in that off memory?
Yeah, there probably was. I don't remember it.
Nah.
I don't remember any nudity from her either. I remember like
No, I
she
don't
had her
think it was
hair
her.
covering her, her boobas
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. That was the whole point of the movie. But I swear there might have been a bit of dong.
But that's the funny thing, right? So like you remember like because I remember when we were kids, I had a real big thing for Christina Ricci, Greeno Ritchie. How do you
We
say her
both
name?
did from Casper fame.
Of course, you liked her from Casper. I liked her from the Addams Family. I loved her as Wednesday Addams. Like
Yeah.
she was my first kind of celebrity girl crush. Now, the problem is, right, when you're 12 or 13 and they're 12 or 13, it's fine. But if you're a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old and you look back and you think of your first girl crush, it's like, hang on, that's a 13-year-old kid. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, what's wrong with you? But no, you're
But at the time, you don't know. You don't think that.
Exactly, yes.
Now, I would want to adopt her, because I think she's a great kid.
Yeah.
But... well, no, obviously not now, because she did that Black Snake Moan movie with Samuel L. Jackson, so she's damaged, Greeno. Okay. She also went out with Owen Benjamin for a while.
Who's Owen Benjamin?
He's like a failed comedian.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not very funny. So ever since I found that out, I was like, oh, God, he was with her, was he? And then ever since then, I haven't found her attractive at all.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you look at it and go, failed comedian, we've got a chance here.
No. No, not if you knew him. Not if you knew Owen Benjamin. No, definitely not.
Well, now I'm going to look up Owen Benjamin.
You're going to look up Owen Benjamin. You're going to go down a rabbit hole, man. Save that for after the show. Trust me.
Yeah, no, it's
Obvious
fine.
weapons.
I do. I remember that. I remember that scene there where they're like, what's, what have you got behind your towel? Are you wiretapping or something? And he's like, no, have a look for yourself. And they're like, yep, nothing there. I remember that.
No spitting, barking, skipping, or jumping.
That feels good.
No pit stops. No.
There you go. Jim Edward in the chat. Okay there, Owen Benjamin. Now he's calling me Owen Benjamin, Greeno.
Mercy. No, wait a minute.
There you go. Owen Benjamin is an American conspiracy theorist and internet personality. There you go.
Yeah, he does some flat earth stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
How Owen Benjamin cancelled himself. I'm not going to click on any of this because I don't want to fuck up my algorithm, but...
I told you, it's a rabbit hole.
What happened to Owen Benjamin?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There are no rules.
Now I understand you. You want to... Anyone's interested in that guy.
So this one was called Cannonball Fever, Greeno.
Or Cannonball Run, that's why we
I like stories about pinatas.
This is the one I remember. Cannonball Fever is the one I remember. So this came after Cannonball Run and 1 and 2.
Yeah. Because they obviously tried to they wrote the script. They sent it to Reynolds. Reynolds like, nah, man, I'm not doing
busy.
This. Yeah. I'm busy on Evening Shade. Yeah. We can't be doing Cannonball Fever.
We're working on a new treatment for the next Smokey and Bandit movie. I'm not going to be involved in this.
We're done. And they're like, what can we do? Well, how about you go get the SCTV guys? How about you get Candy, you get your Eugene Levy. Who's hot right now? Brooke Shields. Get Brooke in. Mm-hmm. Who's that chick off fucking, who's the boss? Get her in as well.
Who's Dan Aykroyd fucking these days?
Yeah, bring
get
her in.
Donna Dixon. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Well, apparently Donna Dixon, I was doing some Google at the same time. She was on Bosom Buddies with Tom Hanks.
Bosom Buddies. Oh, my goodness.
She was on like the sitcom era around that time.
We need to get Donna Dixon on the show, Greeno. If she was part of the Bosom Buddies.
Part of the Bosom Buddies, the old Tom Hanks sitcom.
Fucking fantastic stuff. So there you go. Cannonball Fever, ladies and gentlemen. Nice, Gary.
I'm not going to hate feet, sending that through, making sure, putting things right. We like to be accurate on this show.
Yeah.
Turns out Damo was on the money there.
I was, accidentally. Hamas synthesizers, Greeno? Let's have a look.
Yeah, so pause for a minute. We were talking about politicians last season, and you're talking about how we need to like revamp the whole political system. You want to like cut their wages to a certain point.
Yep.
So the only people that are willing to do it are people who don't need the money and are already crazy with power, which is kind of the politicians we have, or people that are just fucking good go-getters who are like, we don't care, we're only getting paid $30,000.
You're characterizing it the wrong way. It would be the people who are rich enough to do it for a hobby and for their own personal gratification, or the people who really, really, really care. I didn't say they were good. They might really, really, really care about bad stuff, but at least they're doing it because they really, really, really care. That's right.
Because they're not getting paid shit.
They're
now,
not good.
Unfortunately, our elected officials aren't that great. Because they're paid a stupid wage, they get a stupid pension, they get a stupid travel allowance, they get a stupid meal allowance, even though they really don't need any of that shit. And we're left with this. And obviously, you look to your leaders in times of trouble, like what is happening.
Obviously.
What is happening over there?
Over there?
I don't know where it is. I'm not good at geography.
Somewhere over there. Yeah, nah.
Somewhere over there. shit's going on. Shit's getting real over there.
Shit's popping off, Greeno.
We got to look to our leaders
for leadership
to kind of to make sure that they're across it, because these are the people that are making decisions on if we're going to are we taking a side in this particular war? Are we going to send troops there? Are we going to send our tax dollars in this particular area? We need our politicians to be fucking across this. And thank fuck we've got people like this in charge who are fucking right across the issue.
I want to know what nationality they were from, and I want to know if any of them are Hamas sympathisers.
Nice, Gary! couple things to unpack there quickly. That clip is literally 7 seconds, and I've got a couple of things to unpack.
Go for it.
Let's go back to the start. So play it again.
Yep.
I want to know what nationality they were from.
What nationality they were from?
What nationality they were from?
Yeah. Last time I checked, I think it was either nation they're from or nationality they are. So already concerned that our representatives there in the Senate don't understand the English language. That concerns me. I'm also not too sure what's going on with the Hamas synthesizers.
Yep.
Is there a DJ set happening? Do we need to get the glow sticks out? Is that a fixer demo? You know nothing about politics. I know nothing about fucking what side of the world it's on between us. We can fix this.
I think I can fix it, Greeno. Have a look.
I want to know what nationality they were from, and I want to know if any of them are Hamas sympathisers. I want to know what nationality they were from, and I want to know if any of them are Hamas sympathisers. I want to know what nationality they were from.
A remix.
And I want to know if any of them are Hamas sympathisers.
Synthesizers, Greeno.
Yeah.
You know what we need to do? We need to overdub it with some Devo.
Yeah.
Get some fucking
oath.
Hamas synthesizers involved.
So
that could bring an end to the war, Greeno.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to end the war. We're going to get the fucking thing. We're going to do a set. I'm going to get the glow sticks out. We'll get some pills over there. Everyone will be fucking happy. We'll get the light show happening.
Love it.
Everyone will come together. By the end of it,
Jim N-word in the chat, Greeno. Obviously, Greeno is an Israeli synthesizer.
Nice, Gary.
Obviously,
the only thing that was missing was her, instead of Hamas, she said hummus.
Hummus.
Would have been the only
that would
thing.
have been nice. I got a quick little story
I like
time.
stories about pinatas.
Back when I was doing removals, we had a lot of military contracts. So I was about 19 at the time. I had a truck license. That's how I got the job.
Yeah.
So basically,
And you're a big unit,
I
so
was
you
a
can
big
lift
unit.
shit.
Yeah, but that was
You can't
secondary.
disclose that your back's fucked though.
Yeah, well, it is now after doing removals. But that was secondary to the fact that I had a truck license because I could drive all the removalists around. And of course, I was moving the furniture with them, but they need truck drivers more than they need just grunts who show up and just lift stuff, you know?
Yeah.
There's plenty of them around, Greta. So I got the job, no problem. And we used to get a lot of military contracts where like someone in the Australian Defence Force would be moving from one city. They've been relocated from one fucking base to another. A lot of that kind of stuff. And a lot of our workforce in that kind of, there was a hot season for that. I can't remember what part of the year it was, but generally like all of the transfers happen at the same time. So during that season, we would hire like backpackers and shit to come in and just, you know, fill up the ranks and fill up what we need. And I had a Dutch guy with me once, and we had a job at the naval base in Sydney, and it was like HMAS, whatever. And so, you know, you had to do a security check before you went in there. And pardon me. This was just some guy who lived at the naval base. He was, you know, a 20-year-old guy. So we're packing up all his stuff, and he's got fucking porn everywhere and all that kind of stuff, you know. Typical stuff you'd expect from a Navy guy, right? So we're driving in, and this guy starts freaking out, this Dutch guy. Now, he's been in the country like a week and a half or something, this Dutchman. And he's like, oh, I don't think we should be going in here. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, no, we shouldn't be going in here. We can't be going in here. I'm like, mate, this is where the fucking job is. We're going in. And he's like, yeah, but look at it. There's guns. The people have guns. And, you know, I don't think this is good. I don't think this is all right. I'm worried. And I'm looking at him thinking, what's wrong with this fucking idiot? What fucking idiot backpacker have they signed me up with here today? You know, the company. Who the fuck is this moron? I'm like, mate, don't worry, just fucking relax. We're here we've got security passes to be here. We're moving this guy out today. That's what we're doing today. If you don't want the money, fucking get out now and we'll get someone else. Oh, no. I don't think we should be doing it. I'm like, fucking calm down. What's wrong with you? I only found out after the job was done. You know, we were on our way home. We stopped to get a beer and I said, so what was all that shit this morning? You're like, why are we freaking out? And he looked, he went bright red. And I swear to God, Greeno, hand on heart, he said to me, I saw the HMAS and I thought it was Hamas.
Nice, Gary!
He thought we were going into a Hamas base, Greeno.
There you go.
What a
poor guy. What he was
poor
freaking
guy.
out.
He was fucking freaking out.
He's like, man, I didn't fucking bring any albums.
I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, I didn't bring any synthesizers. Fucking, what are we going to do here? Jesus.
Yep. Top quality employee there. Oh, mate. Fuck.
Well, that's the state of that's what I thought was the state of politics at the moment. But
Hamas
we've got good news.
synthesizers. Yep.
We got good news. We got Hamas synthesizers from what nationality?
They come from.
What was it again?
What nationality do they come from?
What
I wanted
nationality
to show this, Greeno, too.
No, this one's a good one because, everyone's going to poo-poo the fucking... Well, actually, no. Let's take one step back earlier in the show. Let's step back in time. We were talking about how the ACT...
Hang on, I'll find it. Where the fuck is it? I always lose
I think it's in Back in Time, off memory. It's still keyed up the way it used to be.
Step back in time.
So earlier in the show, we were talking about the no vote and how the people that said yes were from the ACT. That's Canberra. That's the nation's capital. That's where the parliament is. And it turns out they're saying yes to a lot of things at the moment, and then they're keen. And this is one of our senior politicians, correct me if I'm wrong, Damo. Once again, I know nothing about fucking politics.
Somewhat senior. Somewhat.
I swear I've seen this hairdo for a while now. I feel like she's been around a while, and she's a little bit concerned about the culture.
Michaelia Cash, I think her name is, Greeno.
Yeah. She's a little bit concerned about what's happening down in Canberra with the prospect of, I believe, legalisation of a few illicit substances.
Let's have a look. Now, you know my views on legalisation.
No, legalise all of it. In the same way, you want to juice up all the fucking athletes. To have the Super
I am
Olympics?
so much in favour of legalise it. I make Cypress Hill blush with feelings of inadequacy, Greeno. They look at me and go, wow, that guy's fucking hardcore. He'll legalise it all. Yes, I will. So let's have a look. Politician in Canberra talking about the Now, remember, like you said, the ACT is its own little voting area, right? They have their own residents. It's not considered a state. It's a territory.
It's a territory. Yeah.
And this is where, like, all of the people who work for the federal government live, basically. They live in the ACT. So, and it's a tiny little area halfway between Sydney and Melbourne because Sydney and Melbourne couldn't decide on who should be the capital. So they said, let's build a city halfway between the two cities in the middle, and that will be the capital. Typical fucking Australians. So, yes, like you said, so they have, I think the Greens are in power in the Capital Territory, if I'm not mistaken. The Green Party.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, I fucking know.
I think they're in power there, and that says everything you need to know.
Chock full of fucking hummus synthesizers.
Yes, that's right. A lot of hummus synthesizers. How do we get to hummus? Hummus synthesizers, Greeno.
Nice, Gary.
Are you a hummus synthesizer?
The fucking. Yeah, between the hummus synthesizers and the fucking Gaza strip, I'm fucking over the Gaza. The nice Gary is inappropriate right now. I feel like we're leaning one way.
Well, I can tell you, so in the Capital Territory, where, the capital is and where Parliament House is and where the politicians go to do their little theatrics, where all the people who work for the federal government live, that is the only territory/state in Australia where it's legal to have a couple of plants of weed in your own possession. Like, you can grow your own weed in the ACT, but not in any other state, which is fucking nice, Gary, right?
Nice, Gary.
So it's good for me, but not for thee kind of situation, right?
Yeah.
So it's legal there to have your own weed and grow your own, but not anywhere else. And now they're going to legalize a whole bunch of other drugs. So this is a conservative politician.
Well, the other thing for our non-Australian listeners, Canberra and the ACT historically has been known for two things:
porn and fireworks.
Porn and fireworks, right? Now you can get porn, fireworks, and weed, and they're like, "Well, we need to fucking expand this empire.
We need to up our you're right.
Yeah,
we went on, I think, a couple of field trips. You and me and a couple of other boys. We went down.
I only went on one with you. We did the one day field trip. Yeah, you went on a couple. I went on the 1 day field trip where we got up at 4 a.m., drove to Canberra, did our thing for half a day, and then drove back that night.
That's right. Because in Canberra, Canberra's the only place where you can legally buy fireworks.
Yeah.
And, it's basically there's just porn and there are shops that sell porn and fireworks like in the shop. It'll be a porn and fireworks shop.
And then one of each.
Yes. Do you remember a quick little story time, Greeno?
I like stories about pinatas.
Do you remember one porn/fireworks/bong shop we walked into?
Yes. With the old lady?
The old ladies. Two old ladies. So there was bongs on the count, like under the counter, like imagine like a jewelry store. You know how they have the case and like
display case.
Display case.
It's our prestige diamonds.
That's it. So that's where all the bongs were. The rest, it was like a warehouse. This place was huge. Now, the whole rest of the warehouse was fireworks and porn. So we went in there, we bought our fireworks, we bought our porn, and that's where I bought my world famous Bart Simpson head bong. Do you remember that? I still have that somewhere tucked away in a wardrobe somewhere, that thing. The Bart Simpson bong. So it was a porcelain kind of Bart Simpson head made into a bong. And I bought it at that place. And the funniest thing about that place was we walk in there and there's two ladies. They're probably both dead now because we were 18, I reckon, at the time, 19 when we went down there. We did this.
18, because it was the year after school.
18. So we've gone down to Canberra and we're like, we're going to go buy some porn, some fireworks and some fucking weed paraphernalia, all right? And then come home.
It's all legal. It's all good.
It's all legal there. It's fine. So we walk in there and there's the two ladies working in this bong/weed/fireworks shop had to be in their 70s, I reckon. They were old ladies. And I remember one of our mates, Harves, going up. Now, he was a porn aficionado. He's a connoisseur of pornography.
Yeah, big fan.
Big fan. And he walked up with a couple of titles and it was just the funniest thing watching these old ladies scan these porno DVDs and going, oh, you're going to love this one, love. She's a filthy bitch, that one.
Nice, Gary.
You're going to love that one, darling. She does absolutely disgusting stuff in that movie. And it was just fucking hilarious. These two old ladies running this porn/bong/fireworks shop. Oh, that's the kind of grandma you want, isn't it?
100%. The title of the movie, I remember, for some reason it sticks in my head.
Cunt Hunt.
That was one of them.
That was one of them. Cunt Hunt.
That was one of them.
And the picture on the front was like a chick in like full camouflage with a bullet belt around her shoulder. And Cunt Hunt. Yeah.
And the other one that sticks in my mind is Muffy the Vampire Layer.
Muffy the Vampire Layer.
Yes. Muffy was big at that time.
Fantastic. So anyway, they're changing some laws in Canberra. Let's have a look. They want to legalise some drugs. Let's see what they're going to do.
The first group will be the people who travel down the Hume Highway hoping to experience the ACT's party lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You can guess what? You can now do about 15 lines.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice, Gary!
Actually, there's some great you're right, Michaelia. That's exactly what people will do. I like this comment from whoever this fucking guy is. Finally, a reason to visit Canberra, Greeno.
Nice, Gary!
We've all been to Canberra, and we've given examples when we were kids. The party lifestyle is not the first thing that comes to mind. No, to be fair, like you go down for the porn, the fireworks, the bong paraphernalia, but you don't stick around for the nightlife. Like we drove down at 4 a.m. from Sydney. Drove down for 4 a.m. Sydney, and drove back before we even hit night.
Yeah.
And go up a little bit. Go up. That one. No, the one with Michaelia with the red shirt.
Mm.
This is Michaelia. She's had a few lines herself, I think.
Go and have a curry for the country. Hey, I'm going to tell the Prime Minister that one. A curry for the country. I love it. I love Indian food.
Food. Oh, she is. She's a fucking. She's a loose cannon. This one.
Had a few lines that one.
Bad call from the government is to go and have a curry for the.
Go and have a curry for the country. Hey, I'm going to tell the Prime Minister that one. A curry for the country. I love it. I love Indian food. It's my favourite food. I promise you I will do that.
God, I don't know if she's on coke, but she's definitely roiding. Like, look at the neck. Look at the neck strain happening here, Greeno.
Yeah, it's got a turtle feel to it.
Yep. Yeah.
It's what's that movie that fucking Dana Carvey did? Where apparently at 9/11 he was dressed up in like a turtle costume. He was like a turtle man. I'm getting the fucking turtle man vibes from Michaelia with the neck action.
To this day, I still don't know who Dana Carvey is.
It's Garth from fucking Wayne's World.
Right, but I don't remember anything else that he's ever done ever.
Because he's done nothing other than that. It's a fucking nice, Gary. Like he's got no other movie that's of anything worth watching.
Fantastic.
That movie was called Master of Disguise, actually, off the top of my head.
Okay. Don't remember that one either. No.
It was terrible. That's the one. That's the reason. It's absolutely shit. There's a reason Mike Myers went off and did some successful things, and Garth is Garth.
But people talk about Dana Carvey like he's some kind of comic genius, though, as well.
No, so he's got a podcast at the moment. This is a podcast we talked about a little while ago, where I was making jokes about it, going, these two fuckers give credits at the end, talking about producer and executive producer and line producer of their podcast. And I'm like, all you do is sit there and
line producer at a podcast. What would you need one of those for?
Editor, this person, like they listed off like 14 credits, and I'm like, you have that many people? Fucking Damo does all those jobs, and he does it for free.
Yeah. Those are the people who are paying him money to do it, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
it's pretty embarrassing. Let's get to this, because we've talked about we're doing this segment for a little while now called the Bears Tweet of the Week, but I've noticed a bit of a trend with the Bears Tweet of the Week, where I thought we were a little obsessed with the ratings.
He's
like fans
moving
love
in.
their Thursday night footy.
Fucking pissing on our territorial grounds, Greeno. He's trying to take over.
He talked about footy ratings for a bit, and then he started getting a little bit political.
If he starts talking about Gogglebox, I will hunt him down. Greeno.
Look out! We are cancelling the Bear. So he went from that, and then he went to Sky News ratings. He's not a big fan of Chris Kenny from the last dozen tweets he sent. But he seems to have this obsession with ratings in general. I saw this. This is the Bears Tweet of the Week, Maurice. American TV networks are most unhappy with the World Series lineup. Arizona v. Texas represent small markets, which equals small ratings.
How is Texas a small market?
They are, because people prefer. I think there's more people in Houston.
Well, no, Texas is the state, right? So what city is the What city are the Texas Rangers in? Arlington. Okay. Amberlina's in the chat. She's a Texan. I think she's a West Texan, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry if I got that wrong, because they get very territorial in Texas about East Texas and West Texas and South Texas. I don't know anything about North Texas. I think that's called Oklahoma. So, North Texans are their own problem. But I think she's from West Texas, if I'm not mistaken, Amberlina. You can correct me. So is Arlington does sound like a small place, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, I think Texas is more of a football town. So no matter who it is, like it's not one of those, it's not a big East or West Coast team is the key. Now, here's where I need to pull the Bear up. When the Yankees and Dodgers met in the World Series, ratings were huge. Huge markets equals huge ratings, that's life. Now, the Bear failed to point out when the last time the Yankees and Dodgers met in the World Series, Damo. 1981. He's just fucking making it up. He doesn't know what the ratings were because we didn't have ratings meters in 1981.
Oh, there you go. I've heard back from Amberlina. She's from West Texas, but she lives in East Texas. There you go.
You go, Amberlina, are you pumped for the World Series? Are you a Rangers fan? What's going on?
So, wait, what cities in Texas are West Texas then, Greeno? You're the baseball guy. You should know this shit. I only know geography in Britain because of football teams, like soccer teams. I can tell you like where the city is in Britain based on the name of the soccer team.
Geography is not my fucking strong suit. I know the only reason I know what teams are on the East and West Coast is because they're in the AL East.
How many baseball teams are in Texas? Is there one in Houston? Is there a baseball
Yes.
team in Houston? Okay, who are
the
they?
Houston Astros.
Okay, so the Houston Astros. Now that's pretty. I think that's South Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be.
Or
I
is
don't
it
know.
Central?
I don't know
Is it
geography.
Central Texas? I don't know. I know it floods, so it must be near water somehow. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Rockets fan, I should fucking know that. Now,
You should know
is there a team in Dallas as well?
No.
There's no team in Dallas in baseball.
No team in Dallas.
Okay, so
they've already got Texas and they've got Houston.
okay, so we've got the Rangers who are in Arlington, and we've got Houston Astros. Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
They're the
That's it.
only
We got
two
Texas.
teams in Texas, Greeno.
Yeah.
Really? That's wild. I would have thought Texas is so huge. I would have thought they'd have more. How many teams does fucking California have? They've got like 6, don't they?
No. they've
Dodgers,
got
right?
Dodgers,
Oakland,
Dodgers, Angels,
A's,
Oakland,
Angels,
Giants.
So they got 4 teams. He said that's the Rangers. Jim Enward saying that's the Rangers, fucking retards. So,
Very good. Anyway, the Bear, he's dwelling on the days of 1981
okay.
to make his point. We need to fucking, we had huge ratings back in 1981. Bear, fuck, calm down.
Yep. Fantastic.
Move on.
Yeah.
And once
So
again,
Arizona's
I'm-
the D-backs, isn't it?
To be fair, man, I just want to talk about this for a sec. Yeah. I am sick. I'm sick of the narrative of like, TV rating is going to be bad, so we don't want these teams to be in the World Series. Who gives a fuck? I'm not. Why would you want teams in the World Series just so ratings can be huge? Do you want to see just teams that are going to play good, entertaining baseball? Like, it's fucking dumb. If you're only watching teams because they're from a big market, that's just fucking stupid. Like,
haven't the Cardinals won a bunch of World Series and they're a tiny team? Is that right?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're a small market technically, but
yeah. So it's like St. Louis, like, do you know where that is? I don't think the people in St. Louis know where they are, Greeno.
That's in the middle of America, just based on what division they're in.
Okay. So, they've won a bunch of World Series. What's the fucking difference? I kind of like the small team
It's
winning
fucking
stuff.
stupid, man. I like seeing young, entertaining teams play. Texas playing. I'm moving number 9 in the rundown up to now. World Series preview time. I'm looking forward to this World Series, to be fair, because we've got the Arizona Diamondbacks, even though they were the lowest ranked team in the playoffs, have fucking made it to the World Series. They're the only team. Stat man, if we can, sir.
Stat man.
I'm a stat man. There's no notes here. I'm just fucking making off the top of my head. They're the only team that's ever made the World Series with a negative run differential during the season.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means the team
They
they
should
scored
lose.
less runs.
They should lose more games than they win, basically.
Theoretically, yeah. So that when they lost big. When they won little.
So in Moneyball terms, it would be like he doesn't get on base. we don't win. We don't score runs. We score less runs.
They win tight games, but if they lose, they're going to lose by a fair
They get
bit.
blown out.
Which, look, it's just never happened before. No one's ever been in the World Series because normally the teams that are dominating have fucking a massive run differential, like plus 50.
Because they're winning like
D-back-
7-1, 8-2, fucking
Well, they're just winning
6-0.
more games.
Yeah.
It's expanded playoffs, right? So D-backs ended up being the lowest ranked team throughout the course of the year.
Can I just point out, Greeno, since we're talking about stats,
I'm a stat man.
I don't know if you noticed this in the comments, but Johnny's Best, whoever he is, he replied to the Bears tweet and said, "How's Chris Kenny's ratings this week?" Chris Kenny's right on it. Same day reply. Wednesday night, 23,000 behind Coronation Street. Surely it can't continue.
He's
still on Chris Kenny, Greeno. He's watching Chris Kenny like a fucking hawk. 23,000 on Wednesday night behind Coronation Street. Fucking
Surely
Bear.
it can't continue. The Bear is not a fan of Chris Kenny.
He's definitely not. Wow.
But yeah, big World Series this week. Game 1 tomorrow. It's gonna be an interesting series. Texas have got the bats. Arizona are young and have fucking speed on the base paths.
Can I just give a dick move though?
You dick.
I want to give a dick move to the Texas Rangers because if there's more than one team in your state, where the fuck do you get off calling yourself after the state? They should be the Arlington Rangers. If there's another fucking wankers, man.
They were the team. They were the team before the Houston Astros.
Too bad.
So
Now, there's
No.
another team in the state. You don't get to own the whole state.
No. Well, that's fucking Houston's problem, right?
No, it's
So
not.
Texas Rangers were already a team when Houston came
It's a
into
big
the league.
state. There's enough room for 2 teams. You don't get to be the Texas whatever.
Well,
There's-
you do,
No, you
because you were
don't.
there first. It was the Texas Rangers, because back in the day, there was only a team per state. And then Houston came in as an expansion team because it was like, oh, well, there's a fucking Houston area. So, no, different to like the whole, like California, right? You've got like 4 teams.
Yeah, but there's no team in California called the California X.
There used to be the fucking California Angels, dude.
They used to be, but they're not anymore because there's more than one team in there now.
Well, now they're the
LA.
Anaheim Angels. The LA Angels from Anaheim.
Yeah,
That's
so
even more
LA,
stupid.
Los Angeles is just a city.
Well, what gives them the right to fucking own LA? Because the Dodgers are there.
No, but it's
Like,
a city. You can
course,
have
yeah.
more than one. You can have more than one team in it, but they're calling themselves after the city that they're in, not the
No,
state
but
they're in.
They were the state beforehand. So if
They may as
existed
well come out
beforehand-
and call themselves the United States of America
So-
Rangers.
so you
Like,
also
we
get-
own the country now. We were
No,
here
that's
first.
ridiculous. That's
Oh,
ridiculous.
that's ridiculous. Right.
Texas
We'll limit
ridiculous.
it just to a state then. Yeah.
The Rangers existed before the Astros, right? So just don't
bullshit.
fucking put another team in there. You want the Rangers going, hey, we're going to
Okay.
bring an expansion team in there. Sorry, Texas, you've now got to change your name.
Okay, so go back. Okay, all right, fine. I'm fine with that. So let's get rid of all of the secondary and third. And so which was the first team in California, Greeno? Because the Giants would be out, wouldn't they? They'd be fucked
No,
off.
Giants are the first team.
Were they really the first team?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can be the California Giants then. Fuck everyone else off. Nice, Gary.
Nice, Gary.
The Angels will have to move. Now, what's a state? Because clearly
Well,
there's
actually,
not
no,
50
I apologize.
teams.
No, I think
Yeah.
the Dodgers and the Giants.
So
both
you're
moved-
out. You're moving out.
No. We moved it this same year when they did.
But who
West Coast
had the
games.
who had the keys first, Green? Who had the deed first?
The Giants.
Was it the Giants? They
Yeah.
officially had their stadium first. They were the first team in there, the first baseball
100% we
team.
would have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone else has to move out. Now,
We're out.
clearly
Let's go.
there isn't 50 teams in baseball, so there's plenty of states without a team.
Yeah, go
obviously.
nuts. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so,
my point.
So let's go. All right.
do
So
we need so
Houston,
many?
you're out. So it's the
Yeah, Houston's gone.
Texas Rangers, and now we're going to have to move Houston to what's a team that does? What's a state that doesn't have a team? Does Alaska have a baseball team, Greeno?
They don't.
Okay,
Fucking
let's.
the Alaska A's, baby.
Who's
The Alaska A's Moneyball.
who's
Oh,
moving
well.
to Anchorage, Greeno? The Anchorage A's,
We'll get the Hawaii Astros.
the Hawaii Astros. I like it.
There we go.
Fucking oath.
Travel's going to be a bitch, but fucking we're going.
Is there
We're
a team
going.
in Maine, Greeno?
There's not a team in Maine.
There you
so
go.
we're going to get someone there. Sorry, Yankees.
So the Mets were first, weren't they?
No, the Yankees are first.
Oh, were they? All right, Mets, you're out.
It's
Now,
more funny if
is
you
there
change
is
it to
there
the
a
Maine
baseball?
League.
But is there a baseball team in New Jersey though?
It's not. No.
Okay, it's New Jersey Mets. There you go.
New Jersey Mets. There
I'm
we
sure
go.
I'm sure the Mets fans will appreciate that.
They'll love it.
Driving to New Jersey to watch their team.
I think that's it. I think that's the only double ups in states.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
No,
I don't
there's
know.
gotta
Once
be-
again, I'm
there's
terrible
gotta
with
be
geography.
more. Yeah, there's got to be more. Sure.
But giving a World Series nonetheless. Looking forward to it.
Is there a
Um,
team? I don't think there's a team in any of the Dakotas. Is there North or South Dakota?
No.
Yeah, we'll get a couple of teams in there then.
We're Dakotaless.
Yeah.
in
What
the
about
MLB.
North and South Carolina? Is there a team? There's one team in
Carolina
one of
three?
the Carolinas, isn't there?
No. Well, maybe. I don't know.
No, maybe.
You have to.
Well, now what are we going to do about the Canadian teams? Should we move them to one of the
We have to move
unoccupied American states, Greeno?
No, they can stay. We're just going
They
to
can have their own. So
It's going to be a 52 teams.
50.
52 team expansion.
Yeah. Now you'll have to get a Puerto Rican team in there as well. Obviously,
Mm.
they would dominate.
While we're there.
wouldn't they? Yeah.
100% they would.
Yeah.
Kick 'em up.
Half the fucking league is Puerto Rican, aren't they?
Exactly.
So
white boys
all the
playing
teams would
baseball.
be the Mets would be moving to Puerto Rico, I reckon.
Yeah, no, that could work. That's good.
There's a lot of Puerto Ricans living in New York.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Well, not New York anymore. Didn't we just move them to Maine?
Yeah, we did actually. We moved them to Maine. That's true. Unless you want North Dakota, boys. What's
That's
out
it,
there?
take the
Fucking ranches.
The
and
Maine
shit.
or North Dakota.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the only reason I know Maine
Hmm.
is because fucking the chick that was the goalkeeper in Mighty Ducks 2 was from Maine.
Was she really? You've got the
The
most
only reason I
obscure
know
fucking.
It's the only reason I know Maine's a state. Because fucking Julie the Cat Gaffney is from fucking Maine.
I know Maine because I reckon that's roughly the region. If just let's say I had to move to North America, I reckon I'd be living in that kind of area, like in the Northeast.
Mate,
And everyone from like Florida and Texas and, the South is going to hate me because I would like to visit the South at some point and, have some gumbo and shit and soul food and all that kind of crap. But
New Orleans, baby.
New Orleans, baby. But it's like the climate and stuff that I like in the Northeast where it's really cold.
You don't do well in humidity.
I don't. I hate it.
Struggle in the
I'm
South,
very un-Australian of me. Like, I hate the heat. I hate the sun. And I know it gets hot up there too.
And you're like, are we going outside? No, bro. We're staying inside with the aircon pumped.
Yeah, and it's like woods and it's like woods and bears and shit. That's where I want to be. Live in a little cabin when it's snowing and
like Alaska.
Kind of stuff. I feel like you're in Alaska. I probably would. I think I probably would like Alaska. Yeah, it's just Alaska's a little too trailer park though. You kind of want to live around the rich white people, don't you? Not the loggers and the crab fishermen.
Of course not.
No, absolutely not.
Should we get some NRL court dates, sir?
Please.
We're
going to have to restart that.
With music, just pause for 1 second. I guess maybe the expectations of court dates in general, I felt like they're a little bit lackluster lately. It's been same old, right? It's same with the AFL this week. Someone fucking tested for some sniffy. Ducked down to Canberra for a week, and fucking, what happens? He tested positive, bit of sniffy AFL court dates, well, whatever, move on.
Yeah, we're not the kind of show that will impugn a young rugby league. I definitely won't impugn a young rugby league player for doing a couple of lines on a Saturday night at a nightclub. It's like, you know what? Fuck, this is not the end of the world. Who cares? Who gives a fuck?
Don't expect 20-year-olds to be fucking the moral compass for Australia.
You give 20-year-olds millions of dollars and then tell them that they're not allowed to go out and get laid and take drugs. It's like, good luck with that, mate.
Good luck, mate. Yeah, well done. We did it for free. Like, fucking, you didn't get paid millions. It's fine. But I'm going to fucking tip of the hat to fucking PVL, Peter V'landys, and Rugby League because they've gone, man, well, I've seen what the AFL's doing. We're going to fucking up our court dates, boys. Because shit's got real, Damo. This isn't just regular NRL court dates. This is next level fucking court dates. Yeah. Dragons 5'8", Junior Amone was found guilty of causing grievous bodily harm.
Wow.
Whilst West Tigers young gun Masai Tuve was arrested and charged with gangland murders.
Gangland murder. Great.
This is happening in the off-season.
What was the name of that famous Patriots player, Greeno, who got put away for murder?
Not
Hernandez.
Hernandez, that's the one.
Yeah. We got our own Hernandez here. Brilliant.
We do. Masai Tuve.
I'm looking forward to the Netflix special already.
Yeah, Underbelly season 28.
Underbelly NRL.
NRL. There you go. So you can AFL fucking. You can take your little sniffy. We see that and raise you a grievous bodily harm.
NRL just big dick. NRL just big dick the AFL deviants.
Just fucking did this one. On the table. Charged with a gangland murder. So there we go.
It's going to be hard to top that, Greeno. Dog fighting doesn't even come close to that.
No, man. I feel like a gangland murder is going to be hard to beat.
Yep.
We're almost talking. We need Dexter shit next, I think, if we're going to top that.
Dismemberment.
Yeah, we're going to
disemboweling.
See, disembowelment, like limbs just in someone's locker. Like, hey, we haven't found.
You know what, Greeno? I bet he's a Hamas synthesizer.
100% synthesizers from Homos, bro.
Homos synthesizer.
Homos synthesizer. That's really our court dates. I'm going to do this one quickly because it's been in the fucking queue for a while. I want to get it out of the way. Do you remember back on the show a while ago? Back when we used to be a sports show, we were talking about Marc Marquez because BE was fucking big on Marc Marquez.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, like, fucking, this guy's going to be the next superstar.
MotoGP rider. Yeah.
MotoGP rider. And we're like, we're just. Like,
he's a rookie. How can he beat the guys that are in there? Danny Pedrosa, fucking Valentino Rossi. He's not going to beat them, you know.
He's not going to beat anyone. And fucking he ended up being an absolute superstar and won like 6 world championships. But the question that always came in the chat was, didn't understand the way we said it. Like, what the fuck is a Marc Marquez? Because the way we said it, like, Marc Marquez, what's a Marc Marquez?
Marc Marquez.
I've realized, I was talking to my daughter watching the MotoGP a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking about a particular rider, and And she's like, Dad, I do not understand what you're saying. What is that? Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, that's the rider. So I've realized the new Marquez is Pekka Bagnaia.
Who?
Exactly. That's the fucking point. Who's a Pekka Bagnaia? So
what?
Pekka
Bagnaia. Feels like something a Greek fruiterer would say when you're trying to steal potatoes.
This guy is the current MotoGP world champion and currently leading this year's world
Bagnaia.
Pecco. I'll slow it down for you.
Yeah.
Pecco Bagnaia.
Pecco Bagnaia.
Yeah, but when you say it in a normal Australian speed,
Pekka Bagnaia.
Bagnaia.
We just call him
sounds
Pecco for short.
It sounds like one syllable.
Where's it?
So
Where the
I'm sitting
fuck's
there.
Where the fuck's he from then?
He's Italian.
He's Italian. Pecca Bagnaia.
Bagnaia. So I take one nickname and a surname. That should technically be 3 syllables, right? Four. Pecco Bagnaia. 5 syllables. And the Australian accent and natural inclination to say a word and speed of it turns out to be Pecca Bagnaia.
Pecca Bagnaia. Sounds Indian to me.
It does a little bit. Pecca Bagnaia.
World's first Sri Lankan MotoGP superstar, ladies and gentlemen.
So that's the new Marc Marquez, because we don't understand what the Marc Marquez is.
Yep.
The new Marc Marquez is a Pecca Bagnaia.
Pecca Bagnaia. Fantastic. Nice, Gary.
That joke fucking is so dumb and so stupid. But I'm fucking telling this joke at some point on this program.
That was a joke?
Over the next couple of weeks. Because it's annoyed. Like, it's fucking annoyed my whole family for a week and a half. With just
winning TV in the chat said boppity boopity.
It's fucking stupid, right?
Boopity boopity.
It's still funny.
Pecca Bagnaia.
Do you see the MotoGP got rained out in Australia?
I don't watch MotoGP anymore.
You know why? But I always like watching the Australian
Phillip Island, right?
Phillip Island, 100%. But it was too wet and too windy. Like the wind was so bad.
I like stories about pinatas.
I have been on this for a long time. I have been on this.
It doesn't matter.
I have been on this for a long time. There has been this sneaking into motorsport over the last 10 years, and it makes me really uncomfortable. Where it's like, if it's, safety. We need to be safe. Safety, guys, safety. And it's really just a microcosm of the kind of cultural safety blanket that we're throwing around everybody now, where everybody expects safety. But actually, you know what? It's hard for me to admit this. I actually saw an interview with Lewis Hamilton after the Qatar Grand Prix. Remember we had that discussion about Logan Sargent?
People were passing out and shit. Yeah.
Logan Sargent pulled the pin and I was adamant, and I'm like, no, he would have got more respect if he had have thrown up in his helmet and crashed because he passed out behind the wheel, because that's what you fucking do. Yeah. You stay. I said every other driver finished the fucking race. Fernando Alonso is twice. He's old enough to be his fucking dad, and he finished the fucking race. Now, yes, they were going on drips after the race and had to be lifted out of the cars, and they were fucked up. But they all finished the race except for Logan fucking Sargent, who didn't. Yeah. And I said, this is going to hurt him because he is the only one who pulled out, and it makes him look fucking weak as piss. Now, I do not like that I'm now forced to agree with Lewis Hamilton, because I think Lewis Hamilton's a fucking douchebag. But Lewis Hamilton was the only one who said, well, maybe I'm being controversial here, but this is an extreme sport. And, it is. And, you know, you race to the fucking end. You race to the end of the race. And if you feel like you can't make it to the end of the race, then you train harder, because there's a reason that nobody else except us can do this, because it's fucking hard and it's supposed to be hard. So basically he was saying grow a pair. And I have to agree with him. That's the whole fucking point. There's something that makes me incredibly uncomfortable with people trying to introduce safety into an inherently unsafe activity. And the reason that it is the activity, like motorsport, like MotoGP and Formula One, when they call it off and they say, oh, it's too wet, therefore it's too unsafe, fucking bollocks to that. No.
The wet makes sense.
No. The race is on. And if you can't do it, then you can't do it. That's fine. But the guys who can should be allowed to drive and race and win. And if you can't, then that's fine. I guess you're just not cut out for it then, which is, again, that's fine. Not everybody can be. And the reason that they can't be is because it's an inherently dangerous activity. That's why we're all fucking watching it. Now, I've been saying to you for 10 years, the more they go down this safety path, the less fucking viewable, the less enticing this sport will become.
Well, it's less enticing because fucking Max Verstappen wins every race and there's no competition.
But before him, it was Lewis Hamilton.
But that's my point. There's always one driver who's just ahead of everyone. It becomes unwatchable. But that disinterests me more than a driver fucking pulling a driver that's already dead last anyway, pulling out of a race in lap 56 of 71 because it's too hot.
The danger is why it's famous. If you take the danger out of it, it's just guys going around a track.
Yeah.
It ceases to be like the pinnacle of motorsport and all that kind of shit. And just a little side note too. Now I've made my point on that. Just a little side note too. I was watching a bit of pre-race wank in the last Formula One race, Greeno, and they were talking about getting more women into Formula One, which is a very common thing these days. Like we need to get more women into Formula One, more women into Formula One. And I'm of the opinion. I'm like, yeah, fine. And I'm fine because Danica Patrick she gets like the TV kind of gig every time they're in the States, right?
Yeah. She's the Taylor Swift of motorsport.
She's the Taylor Swift of motorsport.
She's like mid, but she's hot for what she is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So she's there and she's giving her opinions and stuff. And you can just tell Martin Brundle, like, Damon Hill, these other guys who have actually raced in Formula One, they don't pay too much. They don't give her too much credit in terms of like what her opinions are in racing. And if you actually listen to her, and then there's that black chick as well who, she's done a little bit of racing as well, but you can tell that the things that they say, they're not really tuned in, right? They say very general things and they're like very easy things to say, but they're kind of just saying stuff. They're not giving you any insight specifically because it's very difficult. It would be a very, not many people have driven Formula One, so not many people can actually speak from experience on it. You know what I mean? Now, I was thinking, while they were promoting like getting more women into Formula One, and I was actually thinking about, I bet there's going to be a lot of fans out there who will say, oh, these girls shouldn't be, this will be like, they're only getting the job because they're female kind of thing. And I legitimately thought to myself, so what? And I'll tell you why. If I'm running a Formula One team and I feel like I can make a couple of $1 million by hiring a woman, why wouldn't I? Because the reality is, if I'm the kind of Formula One team who would hire someone to make a couple of $1 million, I've already been doing it, but I've just been hiring douchebag rich boys anyway. So I've been hiring douchebag rich boys whose parents write them a check and sign over sponsorship deals so to guarantee their son a drive in my Formula One team. Now, if I can make the same amount of money by hiring a chick, what's the fucking difference?
Yeah, exactly.
Legitimately, what is the difference? And people will say, "Oh, it needs to be. It's the pinnacle of motorsport. Only the best should be doing it." And it's like, well, if you genuinely believe that, then you're a fucking moron. Because the reality is, the bulk of Formula One fields for the last 50 years have not been the pinnacle of motorsport. They've been the richest guys who can afford to get a seat.
Hence Lance Stroll, hence Logan Sargent, hence a whole bunch of...
With that in mind, if I was running a Formula One team, like let's say I'm running Williams, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try and find myself the most attractive female driver who's willing to have a crack at Formula One and say, would you be willing to do some nude photos or anything for a calendar? Would you be willing to do that? And we'll give you a seat. And you might say that's incredibly sexist. And I'm like, and you could say it's incredibly sexist.
It's a sexist button. No.
Yeah, but hang on. I would say that I would be a bigger whore if I turned around to like a Russian oil magnate and said, how much money are you going to give me to let your son drive for me? I would say to you that I'd be a bigger, that's more deceptive. That's more underhanded.
Acceptable.
That's socially acceptable, is it?
Socially acceptable to let the Russian driver. Who was the Russian driver that lost his seat? recently.
Nikita Mazepin.
Really, he crashed the car every fucking second week.
Now, his dad was like a fucking pig farmer or something, or a goat farmer. I'm not sure. Big business in something. He was doing something. But again, I would say to you, like, okay, so here's your options, right? Yeah. We can either hire the attractive female racing driver. She's going to come last every race. Okay, we appreciate that. She's going to come last every race.
She come last,
but
if she doesn't crash it, she's doing better than Logan Sargent and fucking Lance Stroll.
She's going to agree to do an OnlyFans account for us. Okay, and she's going to wear our merchandise while she's doing the OnlyFans, or we can get the awful, ugly son of a Russian millionaire. Which one do you want? I'm going with a girl every time because you know what? You'd get the love on social media and it'd be like an empowered OnlyFans creator.
Yeah, equality first ever thing.
Yeah.
First ever female in Formula One.
Yeah. During the week, she shoves things in her vagina for tips on OnlyFans, and on the weekend she drives really fast. I mean, these guys are pro-female, Greeno. You say it's sexist. I don't. I say it's empowering.
It's going to make a fun episode of Drive to Survive.
Yeah, absolutely. Drive to Survive and get off, Greeno.
And get off, exactly. Yep. All right, let's end the show there. Before we do go, we joke about fucking how we have no relevance on this show. Like, no one listens. We got fucking 6 listeners, blah, blah, blah.
No.
I just sent you a DM of what I just saw was trending on Twitter right now.
Okay. Oh, my goodness gracious.
I shit you not. So we just finished a conversation about Maine and moving a baseball team to Maine. You want to talk about us moving the media a little bit?
Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
That is literally 10 minutes after we discussed moving the fucking New York Yankees to Maine.
Trending on Maine. Trending Maine.
Nice, Gary.
528,000.
Obviously 528,000. That's the blockhead effect, Greeno.
That's the blockhead effect of us moving the Yankees to Maine.
Yeah.
It happens.
Fantastic stuff.
All right, good in the show. We're off next week. Season 59 will
comes to an end. We'll be back the week after that, though.
We'll be back the week after
for the new season of the block. Yeah.
Mate, we're spending the whole fortnight working hard, putting together some good shtick, akin to this, and just going off the groundswell.
Yes,
of our Yankees to Maine.
We'll be riding the Maine wave all the way to the finish line at the end of the year, won't we? At the end of season 85, by the time we get to December.
End of the year.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals. We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should reject you, there's me to protect you.
If I say that your tongue is vicious,
if I call you uncouth,
it's simply that.
Who else but a bosom buddy will sit down and tell